Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo, and this is the MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. This is one of our awakening panels. We have a theme and a number of practitioners on the panel. We'll be answering your questions in a Q&A format. I believe there are six of us. Yeah, six of us on the panel tonight. And the theme is Manifest Your Dreams. So we'll all be introducing ourselves and sharing a bit about Manifest Your Dreams and what that means to us. Maybe let's go through and introduce ourselves first, and then we'll talk about the theme afterwards. So spend somewhere 2-3 minutes introducing yourself, and then we'll come back and chat about the theme. It is free to be here. There's a small price for answering a question or for asking a question. We will answer your question. Most likely all of us will have something to share. It might be just, 4 of us or something like that. Yeah. So we take questions on all kinds of topics, and the theme is Manifest Your Dreams, but really it could be anything. And when you ask a question about that, we may go talking about other different topics as well. We're excited to be here with you. So let's go ahead and get the practitioners started introducing themselves. Let's see the order we will go in. Let's go ahead. We'll do Susy, and then Marianne, and then Galactic Ashley. All right, go ahead.
Cool. Thanks, Lorelei. I'm Susy Parker Goins with Blue Lightning Healing. I'm a channel, so I allow the energies of divine to come through in whatever aspect is most resonant with you. And you talk to them, establish a relationship, work through, ask those questions, get perspectives, whatever it's going to do to help you move forward on your path and to establish that working relationship with your guides. I'm also an energy healer. I can do body scans, identifying where blockages are held and find out what's causing them, whether it's emotions that are being held in, inner child issues, past life trauma. I love looking at past lives and teaching you how to look at them, gain the wisdom from them, and to release them so that you have less fetters on you. I work to help you feel unencumbered and liberated in your own spiritual life. Soul journeys are well, they're not boring, that's for sure. My website is bluelightninghealing.com. I'm on Facebook, I'm on the web. I have a podcast called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations that I upload Thursdays and Wednesdays to. Galactic Ashley is the latest guest on my podcast. And you can contact me at Susy at bluelightninghealing.com. That's SUSY at bluelightninghealing.com. And yeah, I do have a special going on here. If you schedule within the next week, it's $60 for 30 minutes and $100 for an hour. And blah, blah, blah. I think I covered all the bases. Thank you so very much. I'm looking forward to helping y'all and hanging out. Thanks.
Oh, that's great. And let me just jump in and say too, I see someone has their hand up. If you have a question about a logistical aspect, please write it in the chat for me. If you'd like to ask a question of the panel, there'll be instructions coming in the chat in just a moment. So we request that you pay first and then let us know in the chat that you paid and we'll get you in line. Yeah, so that might address some of the different things. All right, let's go back to our introductions. So Marianne and then Galactic Ashley and then Jessie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Ann. I am an intuitive energy healer. I help and support people release trapped emotions or energies within them so that they can live their best life. A lot of times we carry around emotions, and emotions all translate into energy and vibrations within us. And so they could be held within parts of our bodies that we might not be aware of. And so I help guide you through that process using breathwork, guided meditations, Reiki, and Oracle card session at the end. But once you feel that release, that's when your energy can flow real smoothly. You can connect and just see where your life will take you. You can contact me through my website at www.theignitedsoul.com. And I look forward to having this great connection with you all.
Great, thanks, Marianne. All right, let's see. So go ahead, Galactic Ashley and then Jessie.
Hi, I am Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. Starting on Monday is one of my galactic guided intensives, and it's called the Light Language Activation and Healing Program. And this course helps metaphysical practitioners as well as anyone who is passionate about collaborating with the universe to embody purer states of consciousness. Learn to engage and integrate the healing frequencies of light language into aspects of your daily living, metaphysical and healing practices so that you can more easily enter and hold a highly coherent and resourceful states of being. You will be able to access all of your the different modalities of light language, whether it's through moving your body, hand signs, through your voice, through toning, through singing, through drawing, and then beyond that, there's a lot of healing and a lot of DNA activations, and it's also a really great catalyst to connect with your guides and your star families, and it's one of my favorite galactic guided intensives that I do. You can find me at galacticashley.com, and then I have included a link with a $25 off a registration in the, or Laureli has, in the chat, and I am really grateful to be here tonight, so thank you.
That's great. And I'll get all those posted again. All right. I think that's it. Then Jessie and then Jenna.
Hi, I'm Jessie Starr. My practice is Healing Pathwalkers. I specialize in working with people with trauma, in reintegrating after some sort of trauma or after recovering from childhood trauma. My personal background is I am a trauma survivor, and I took myself through as far as I could in mental health care and working with Western techniques, and I just couldn't get integrated whole. I couldn't really harness my life. So this is the perfect panel for me, in my opinion, because that's what I've done for the last 10 years, as I began by training to become an energy worker and healer, and finally taking claim of my rights, my gifts, my psychic, my intuitive, and opening and awakening my clairsenses in a training program, becoming an energy worker and healer. And I worked with people in sessions, and I realized it wasn't sticking, not because the work wasn't there, powerful, they weren't receiving it. They did. They believed it. But then they went home and they lived their lives in the same patterns, with the same habits, the same filters of perception, the same victimhood driving their motivations, the same soothing behaviors. And they kept self-sabotaging. And I realized until somebody understands how to rewrite, rewire their matrix, their belief systems, they're going to continue to be sacked by their development, by their growth, by their protective mechanisms that they learned. So I built a training program called Life Mastery. It's a 1-year training program. I've been running it for about 6 years now. It seems to get longer each time I run it, because people just need that time to practice in order to really have that somatic experience of healing the full mind, body, spirit complex. So that's what I focus on, is all full system healing. I teach people how to work with their energy, understand and read their own chakra systems, understand their divine blueprint, working with the Akashic, working with their multi-strand expression we call life, past lives oftentimes. So all of this, I give you tools and how to practice it, how to handle your situations, and then you work with me directly for any challenges that you may have. It's a really powerful program, and I'm super excited. We're starting up at the end of, Thursday, April 8th. We're starting our first class again. There's a 12-step recovery program to the human condition. I'm also offering tarot readings here at 50% off. I'm super excited to be here. Manifestation is my favorite game.
Thanks, Jessie. All right, go ahead, Jenna.
Thanks, Jessie. I gotta also tout that Jessie's year-long program is amazing. I've learned about it with her, and she's incredible. Hi, I'm Jenna Lynne Roberts with Present Path Tarot and Intuition Coaching. So I offer a similar concept of intuition coaching. So instead of, and tarot reading teaching. So instead of you having to feel like you're always having to go to others to find your answers, I want to help you find your own answers by tapping into your own natural gifts and accessing these tools that we have. I teach a tarot class that's starting on April 11th on a new moon, because that's the best time to start a class, running through April 28th. It's a 3-week class, Sundays and Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Oh, sorry, 7:30, although we usually chat afterward if you want to stick around. But 3 hours a week, 6 p.m. to 7:30. And we go through both the right brain and the left brain of tarot. So we get really deep, and I have decoded the cards in a way for you to learn them so that you don't have to open a book anymore. Your daunted feelings will disperse and be replaced with amazing gifts of being able to access your own intuition, being able to also access knowing what each card is based on just what's in front of you. And so that's starting soon, and I'm offering tonight 10% off. It's already a very low rate of only $129, and so people have already been using this 10% off deal. Class is filling up. It's going to be a great group, and I only run this class 2 times a year typically, so get it while you can. This is a snapping opportunity to get right now. And I also offer intuition coaching, so helping you access your information from within and teaching you the skills of how to get there. If you want to learn more about me, the best way to reach out is to email me or go to YouTube, because I have posted over 50 YouTubes that are all useful content. So not just fluffy stuff. My most recent one is about how to intuitively access the cards through a tarot improv game. So I love games. And yeah, tonight I'm also just happy to be here and with this amazing group of people who I always am impressed with their incredible readings. So stick around and get some beautiful readings tonight and sign up for your own. Thanks for being here, and come take my Art of Tarot reading class.
Great. And I just put all the practitioners' information in the chat again. If you just joined us, I'll put it in again in a little bit. So Jenna's training information, you'll be able to access it in here, and Galactic Ashley's you'll be able to access in here. So lots of opportunities to continue to work with us. And all or most of us offer our work as specials today too. So if you sign up for a session or the training today or in the next few days, you will be able to get a discount on our work. I'm Laureli Shimayo. In addition to running the panel, I'm also one of the practitioners. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I believe that we all read eyes all the time. You can sense this in yourself when you imagine meeting someone with dark sunglasses where you can't see their eyes, right? And so much is missing. And then as soon as so much is missing, as soon as you see their eyes, so much more is there. Sorry, I'm like multitasking, all the different things going on. So I read what I see in your eyes using a set of archetypes that I call thrive types to read your soul, like eyes are a window to the soul. And so in describing your archetypes, your soul, I'm able to very easily point to your life purpose as it shines through your eyes, and then answer questions on all different kinds of questions. Career path, you can show me photos of people in your life and I can make comments on relationships. If you want a relationship, such as looking for a business partner, we can look practically at what sort of person to look for and how you advertise to find them and how to screen to find a great person. Online dating, it's really an advertisement, right, for you. So how do you share who you really are in a deep way that will bring in someone that really gets you, sees you, and that you really want to be with? So I help you write a profile and take photos that share who you really are, and then we screen photos right online to find someone that's a great fit for you. All kinds of different things. And I also do body psychology, and this is useful for growing through your lessons. So by looking at what I see in your eyes, I can see your purpose, but I also can see, and I also can see various places where you're like more stuck, where focusing your growth energy on something will help open up and shift what you experience in many ways. And body psychology offers a lot of different tools that we can play with to do that. And you can use these tools on your own. So that's what I'm offering today. So I may be reading your eyes, or I may notice other things in how you share is happening with your body, or there may be some exercises that you can do that will make a difference. And someone can't hear. Okay, if anyone else can't hear, if someone can't hear, we've had some weird things in Zoom lately, by the way. It's possible you may need to just leave and come right back in. I'm not quite sure all of what's been going on. Yeah, strange thing. Zoom has been updating again, and who knows. Let's see. Well, let's see. So you've heard a bit from all of us about what we do. Let's go around and talk a little bit more about the theme, manifest your dreams, right? So we can go around in the same order, or if someone else is inspired, and you don't have anything quite yet, it's okay, others can jump in. So go ahead, we'll start again with Susy. So take a minute or so, minute and a half, and share about the theme and what the theme Manifest Your Dreams means to you and how it shows up in your work.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Lorelei. So manifesting, that's a lot of activity surrounds that. A lot of folks assign it to abundance or wealth. But for me, manifesting is making stuff happen that resonates with you. And I use it, and I use a lot of different tools for it. A lot of people will use crystals or rituals, meditations, affirmations. For me, setting my intention to manifest a particular outcome. I did when I was really sick. I said I knew I had to change the end of the story. And so working with divine, getting that emotional and spiritual, all that support I got from the people around me, I was in fact able to change the end of a story and manifest a life. And from that, I have found that I've got so many other things I'm able to accomplish, or that I did accomplish as a result of that. So I feel that manifesting is a lot. It can very much be a state of mind. How much do you want to manifest? How much do you feel you deserve to manifest? And I feel everyone deserves to have all the best things that they can handle. So yeah, that's what I got right now. And I'll let other folks talk. Thanks.
Yeah, and I'm great with whatever order we go in. I think it was Marianne next, and then Galactic Ashley. If you want, feel free to go in that order. Or...
To me, manifesting dreams is a big thing too, just like Susy was saying. And I think it could come in a variety of ways. I think what I've learned over the, years and stuff is that sometimes when you manifest something, it doesn't really come out in the particular way that you're asking for it. The universe, God source, has their own way of creating within our world how that dream or what you're asking will come into being. So there are different ways that it can come into your life, and it might not be exactly what you want, but it's definitely, coming in a way that will bring you a lot of meaning and support in your life. And for me, some of the things that I've done is using guided meditations to help me tap into my inner being, my soul space, to really recognize, what are those dreams? What are those needs that I need in my life? And also creating some visualizations around what my dreams are and tapping into those vibrations. Because like intentions, it's a vibrational ask that we're asking out into the universe, like we send out prayers as well. And so it's pretty magical what can happen. And I think even seeing signs out and about are helping you on your way to manifest what you want. I think that's all that sort of came into my mind right now. So if there's anything else, I'll chime in later.
That's great. Go ahead, Galactic Ashley, and then Jessie.
So I, for some reason, have a tiny bit of resistance to the word manifestation, and I think it's just because of the way maybe it's been used. So I prefer to use the word co-create, even though maybe there really is no difference. And I think everything really comes down to vibration and where our vibration and where our frequency is in the moment. And so I am fascinated with the way that we co-create individually, but also the way that we co-create, especially now, as a collective consciousness, because everything that we experience is also co-created by the collective consciousness. And right now, it really feels like we are experiencing a collective splitting that has surfaced in our consciousness between the mind and the heart, the masculine and the feminine, the body and the spirit, us and them. And we are really sort of in the conscious and unconscious, right? So, and we're really seeing this even within our own metaphysical community, within politics, within vaccines, within everything that basically we've been experiencing. So the question I'm always asking myself is how can we basically work on our own co-creative abilities and our own vibration and our own healing so that we are contributing to creating something that's different. So if everything we manifest with the consciousness of duality, it becomes imprinted with duality, which only perpetuates the thing that we're like trying to free ourselves from. So I definitely don't think that being here on this planet this time is necessarily simple or easy. But I tend to, I work with the dragon consciousness, and they frequently come in and they really remind people to find joy in the process. And I find that really helps. So with every sort of going into a state of beingness and then taking what I called inspirited action allows for things to co-create in a less challenging way, or like with less resistance. And so I sort of think that's the sort of the overall idea, because to me, and part of why I'm here, is I don't believe that New Earth is a place that we go right now. I don't think we're dropping our bodies, and it's not something we're waiting for. It's something that we're supposed to bring through us. So in order to do that, we really have to prepare our bodies in order to be able to anchor in our multidimensional aspects. And all of this, I think that our ability to co-create is part of when we see how powerful we are to create our realities, like the word hologram means to write the whole. Like hollow means whole, and then gram is to write. So we constantly have the ability to write and rewrite the hologram. And I find that when I have these moments of like creating all of these amazing things, then I'm just like, you want to stay in that vibration. And so much of it is about like anchoring and finding these moments of joy. And if we've experienced trauma in our life and we can't experience joy or gratitude, then it's a really good idea to our brains are really great. They don't necessarily know the difference between what's real and what's not. So practicing to invite that experience in, even if you've experienced trauma to where you can't haven't actually felt that before. And I think that that's really important, to just honor your own experience and to know that you're not going to co-create or manifest in the same way that someone else is. And so that's the beautiful thing of all of this. I'm going to be quiet because otherwise we'll just...
We all just have so much we could say. It's great. Go ahead, Jessie, and then Jenna.
Yeah, so just to piggyback on what Ashley was saying, I believe you already are manifesting. I believe in every moment we're manifesting, and what we are manifesting is not what we want. It's what we need. And unfortunately, people often aren't focused on from that perspective. What is it that I need right now in this moment? Usually people are forwardly focused or backwardly focused. What did I want? What do I not get? When will I be happy? When will I have that? Here's the deal. The universe gives you what you need. So if you need to prove true that you're unlucky, if you need to prove true that people don't love you, if you need to prove true that you're unhappy, well, you're going to get all of that proof until you decide you want to prove something else true. So when I work with people on manifestation, we start by witnessing what is around you. What are you manifesting right now? And can you look at those things, those aspects, those people, those challenges through the lens of, as Ashley was speaking, joy, gratitude, understanding? Can you witness why and how this has come to you? And not because the mirror is showing you how you are to the outside world. No, this outside world that you're witnessing is a reflection of your relationship with yourself, your subconscious relationship. That's what's playing out in front of you in the pieces, the players, the casts, the situations. So until you witness what is and understand why it is and why you need this lesson and get to a place where you're so grateful for it, you don't even have anyone to forgive anymore, then you still need the experience you're in. And trying to shift into something else before you address this is how we begin to sabotage when we start manifesting what we really want. And we can focus ourselves by, as we are manifesting and witnessing what's in front of us, we look through that joy lens. We're looking for what's my highest excitement in what's in front of me right now. Where's my bliss and joy come from? And if we can act, I think Susy said, give ourselves permission to act on that inspired moment. I can't remember who said that. We need that. And that's how we begin to shift into manifestations that shift us into these expansive experiences and out of proof of what we believe to be true.
Great. Thanks, Jessie. Go ahead, Jenna.
So I also was entertained with the idea of looking up the etymology of the word manifest. And it says here that it's from the French, Latin, then, to spread one's fame, to show plainly, to discover, to disclose, or betray. I don't know how betray gets in there, but I like this idea of it's revealing something to you. And I think that a lot of times with us, we are creating our reality and it's revealing itself to us as it comes. And it's like we're that present moment where it's like we're right in between that past expectation and that future desire, and manifesting is being really present with both at the same time. And so I like this idea of it's a discovery in a way. And I like that it roots in that word in some ways. And for me, manifestation, I mean, mana also is manipulate, mana, to your hand. And to me, it is of your own hand. So it's like, I like how we sometimes say, so as a joke, one of my friends said, oh, like, I wanted to get this thing and I totally manifested it. And I was like, well, how'd you manifest it? She goes, I bought it on Amazon. And I laughed and I was like, I didn't really think of the word that way, but I guess you're not wrong. You used your hands and you went and created it for yourself. And we usually assume the word manifest comes from that more mystical thing of like, I'm creating it in collusion, co-creating, like Galactic Ashley said, with the universe. So where is your definition of the word? I think we've had a lot of unique ways of looking at it. And is it discovery or is it creation? It's a little bit of both. And it's also, I think, a key to it is the aspect of the Hanged Man card of surrender. Of you put out into the world, I have a desire for this. And then the world brings it back to you. And sometimes you have to be careful what you wish for. And sometimes you get not exactly what you, as Rolling Stone says, you can't always get what you want, but you always get what you need. That can happen. And for me, I mean, it's funny, we're all entrepreneurs here. And so we all have an idea of what it is to really create something from scratch. And it's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of faith. And I just think that's manifestation right there. I had one more thought about that, and that's just, yeah, so it's your own legwork mixed with a sort of asking. One final point on that I wanted to share is when you're trying to create love in your life, you're trying to draw in lovership, asking yourself, how do I want to feel in my future? Because when we ask for the resume of the person, when we say, well, I want someone who does yoga because I like yoga enough or whatever, we end up drawing in that which is a check mark. When we really manifest, to me, we're calling in a state of being that we want to imbibe and create in our life. So just a thought tonight to really call that in for you. How do you want to feel when you're with your future partnership? How do you want to it's just so yeah, I think that Jessie's on it. So to me, that's what it is, calling in the vibration, because then the vibration will draw itself to you.
Great. I love all the different things that everyone is sharing. This is so much fun. I'm going to point out too that, and I didn't hear everything that everyone shared, but we've got manifest your dreams. So there's also your dreams. What shows up in your dreams, right? What do you learn about yourself and about what's happening for you, right, from your dreams? So if we go back to manifest, one of the principles I use for manifestation is from Gay and Katie Hendricks. And the first step, it's a 3-step process. The first step is more connected to law of attraction. So it's being aware of where we are now and what is it that we want. Right? And so I think some of those steps in there, I focus more on the second and the third generally, but the first of what is it that I want, and like feeling into and being with, what is it that I want, and feeling into what would it be that I have this thing. And what's so important about this step for me is that it has us open to being willing to have what we want. If we're not able to imagine and being with and really feeling into, right, as some of the other practitioners are sharing, right, we're not willing. So that's what lets us know. And then the place for us to put our attention is, why are we not willing? How might we be willing? Maybe we really don't want this thing. We just think we should have this thing, or we should go for this thing. So finding out what's underneath there. So really letting us feel and imagine and like steeping in whatever this is. And I like to consider this in the context of the whole. So in the context of all that is. So it works best if I want something that's in alignment, right? That's aware of my context and my impact, right? That I'm wanting something for good. So is this wanted for me? So holding this space, right, of being with this, imagining this thing. So that's step 1. And then step 2 is loving how it is now. First, we might just have to accept how it is now. Then we can grow to like how it is now. And then if we can love how it is now and really, right, how it is now, this is what is getting us to where we want to go, to where it will be good for us to go. Right. So just so deepening and appreciating what's now. And there's a reason why I'm kind of like dancing. There's this juicy, like being with what's now. So if we have where we want to go and where we are, and we can really be in both of those, now we're ready for step 3, which is the dancing and juicily mixing of those. Because maybe there's something even better than whichever it was of where we are and what we want. Maybe there's a third way. Maybe there's something better, or there's some better way of getting there, or there's some opening by which it happens that we don't anticipate at all. And it's by being with this and dancing with this juice of life, that's how something opens. So that's from Gay and Katie Hendricks. That's their 3 steps of manifestation. And if I'm not able to do any of those things, that's how I know that I'm blocking somehow, or what I think I want really isn't maybe what's wanted for me. So those are the ways that I can look in and play with different things and open things up. Yeah, and feel free, we can all comment on each other's things. Jenna, did you want to jump in and say something particularly about that? Or
I also read a book and it starts with its gifts. G is for gratitude. I is for intention, setting your intention. That's the, magic wand pointing. F is for forgiveness, forgiving yourself for not having created it yet, forgiving others for having, taught you limiting beliefs. T is for tithing, of giving in to, a donation of some kind to that which will serve the world in the way you want to see that happen. And S is surrender, which again is that Hanged Man card of just letting go and letting it be whatever the universe wants it to be, and having acceptance that is what it is.
that's great. Just all the ways that these mix, like all these different approaches and how they're often in alignment with each other. Different avenues work maybe at different times and for different people, and like just all the different and just subtleties, right, of the different access points to the path. So that's a bit about me of manifesting your dreams. And I love the example of ordering something on Amazon, because for me, part of what's so important is that in the willingness that we're willing to flow our energy towards something, that we're willing to take steps. And sometimes the step is, I choose to use some of my resources. I want this, and click. And that is an action step. So I believe in that. Susy, go ahead. Yeah, anyone else that wants to jump in and share, go ahead.
In the talking of all of this, what I find is a great roadblock. The best way to hang yourself up on manifesting is to be impatient, to not trust what is in store. I mean, yes, co-creating or sharing the image, you're all one with the universe, and that's all fine and dandy, but sometimes divine timing is a lot longer than human timing. And so people get all wrapped around the axle about it. So, breathing, I'm very much a proponent of let's just breathe through it. So yeah, that's what I got. Thanks.
Great. Go ahead, Jessie.
I'm going to just really quickly tell a brief story. And when I was in training, what we were taught was to hold in the feeling state of what you're seeking to manifest and what you want to achieve. So, for instance, I have an example of this. I had a client who would come over and join my energy circles, and she had these little cards, and they were amazing. And you'd pull one and how these words on it, and it was so cool. And I wanted one so bad, and I kept forgetting the name of it, and I just knew what they looked like. And I was working at this fair for a friend of mine. I love working his booth, Jeffrey St. Rose, and I just go join him. And so I'm working there, and this woman comes up, and her arms are full of stuff, and she's looking at all these necklaces and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that one feels really good. It turns out I end up like giving her this reading of which of these will be the best for her. And she's like, let me give you a tip. But I'm like, I'm not working. I'm just here for fun. It's no big deal. And she goes, well, then let me hand you this. And she gives me the deck of cards, and she's the author of the deck of cards. And I was like, wait, are these the ones that have just one word on them, and then like what their little tips? And she's like, yes. Do you know them? Yes, they're my favorite cards. I've been looking for them everywhere. So I pulled them out, and there were 2 cards that fell out of the deck when I just pulled them just a minute ago to start shuffling. And the first one is resources, which says, the time has come to look around you and find the bricks that you can use to build the wall that you want to stand upon. And the other one is resolve. Align your heart of your desire and then fan the flames of action, because great feats are possible if you're validating your past successes. So that's what I'll share.
That's great. I realized one phrase that I didn't share too when I shared earlier about willingness is, in addition to being willing, we have to know that we're worthy of that thing. We have to believe that it's good for us to have it, that we're worthy of meeting whatever that is. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Oh, the Sovereign Oracle deck. Is that what it is? Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh,
Jenna asked.
It's the Sovereign Oracle deck by Teresa Pridemore. I was going to write it down too in the talk.
Yeah, that's great. That's beautiful. All right. Yeah. Anyone have anything else to share about manifest your dreams, or any other part of that title you want to share about before we launch in?
yes.
Great. Well, go ahead. Yeah. Anyone that wants to put their voice in the room for a moment, go ahead. What did you want to share?
Oh, I'm not sure how this works because I was going to pay, and this is my.
It's great.
my
You're not
first
in line to
Zoom.
ask. You're not in line to ask a question first. But do you want to say something general about manifest your dreams?
I just had a lot of questions, so that's why I wasn't sure how this worked. If I should go online first. This is like my
it's
first
great.
step.
I'll share a little about the logistics. And I guess if anyone
Yeah.
has any general questions about manifest your dream, it's not a personal question. If you have a general question about manifestation or something like that, this is a great time for us to answer them. So go ahead and put those questions in the chat right now. And then, so Mimi, the way this works, and I just say this in the beginning, we get new people all the time. So we're here answering questions from the audience. We just finished sharing about ourselves and the theme, and then we're going to start answering questions. We've got 2 people in line right now. I'll put the information in the chat again about how you can pay. It's sliding scale, so choose to pay what's good for you. I think it's 16 to 24, and then we have a BIPOC price that's even lower. It might be $10, and then you can pay by PayPal or Venmo, and I also can run something on Square on my phone if we need to do that. So let's see, someone asked, let's see, do you have a daily ritual to manifest what you're working on? So any of you have daily rituals? Or do you have recommendations for daily rituals?
I do, actually. That's how I set my morning. So when I first wake up, I always set my alarm, usually about an hour before the time I actually want to wake up. And then I lay in bed and I begin by grounding myself, connecting with my body, releasing what I've been holding, and maybe pulling in what came through. And then I seek, what is today my highest passion? What am I aligning with today? And how is that focused towards my tomorrow and my future? And I allow myself then to have that direction set within me, but then open myself to the rest of what comes through the day as I navigate that path of inspired act. That's my personal practice.
Yeah, go ahead, Susie or Marianne, whoever wants to jump in.
I usually open up by saying, I do a lot of Dreamtime work, and so I will wake up and say, You know, whatever agreements I may have made in dream time that are not in divine alignment with me, they're null and void. And then calendars are really good for me. I have an idea of my to-do list of what to do, and infusing that with gratitude, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is for the highest good, best outcome, and all of that. And I do spend a lot of time during the day, just, you know, something happens and I'll say thank you, and we'll move on. So I find that gratitude magnetizes me to draw those things that the universe offers. And I say thank you, and they'll say, okay, you want more of that? We can do that. So that's, yeah, I think gratitude is a real basic energizing technique anyone can use.
Okay, go ahead, Marianne, and then Jenna.
I guess for me, what I do, like every morning I try and do my ritual, and sometimes it changes depending on like what's happening, but I have a journal where I just do this brain dump. It's like the artist way, and so you like brain dump everything out into your journal. I love journaling, so that works for me. And sometimes from that, just the flow of the words coming out of my pen will start creating maybe some images or maybe thoughts that lead to the next thing of like what my soul desires and what my inner being wants. And then I also spend some time in a mindfulness or meditative state where I'm connecting with my internal light source and also connecting to the source above, and just sitting and being, and sometimes asking certain questions, and just feeling into the things that I desire out of this life. And also recognizing too, maybe some of the things that I'm desiring, there are some blocks because of maybe some fears or doubts that I have. And so that helps me to like dig a little bit deeper, because I think when you do have fears around what you're trying to manifest, you're going to find a lot of roadblocks, you know, as you go along, or trying to co-create. And so it's a time to just let those arise and be curious. And then also I've been like creating intentions, setting them out into the world, and then feeling into those intentions. If it's, oh, I want to like travel around the world, well, feeling into the emotions of like what traveling would bring to me, because it's not just only focusing on what your dreams are in your life, but also the emotions, the feelings that come from it. And I think that's going to also create that stronger vibrational send. And then hopefully what you receive back is what would be the most supportive in your life at this moment in time.
Great. All right, go ahead, Jenna.
So this is a funny thought I was having about the idea of actually the health of listening to your anxiety. Because we think of it as like, oh, I shouldn't listen to that. But actually, to me, anxiety is the flip of the coin of manifestation. If I'm feeling anxious that I still don't know how to read the cards, that I still haven't written my book yet, that I still haven't been to Bali, that I, you know, these things that trigger us and make us be like, why haven't, oh, I wish I'm going to, if I die and I don't do that, I'm going to regret it. What would you regret not doing? And how can you just say, to hell with it? I'm going to make that a focus in my life. And so I'm going to make that a priority, because when I think about it, I get anxious. So that's something that's actually inspired me to put my butt in the chair and get my book writing going. I also do in coaching for writers with intuitive coaching primarily, and tarot readings. So if you're a writer, you can also, and you're stuck, rather than suffer on your own, go reach out into obscure ranges like tarot readings or Reiki, I don't know, to help you unlock yourself back into your flow. So I think a lot of it has to do with manifesting, to me, like Galactic Ash was saying, co-creating, that idea that like trying not to do everything on your own, listening to your anxiety and thinking, who are my resources that I can use to overcome that with? Who can I reach out to live my best life? And, you know, making those services a part of your life so that you can be a better service to the world. Yeah.
Great. Yep. Galactic Ashley.
So I do, I'm a really big fan, although it's not necessarily fun, of basically healing the subconscious as much as and as often as possible. So I know this might not be like the most fun thing to do, but basically I understand that 97% of most of the decisions that we're making are coming from our subconscious. So if we don't know what's going on in there, then what are we doing? So I can consciously want whatever I want. And unless I'm willing to sort of look and to dig around and to pay attention to my thoughts to see what other parts of my frequency I am sending out that might be inhibiting the thing that I'm trying to co-create. So similar to some of you, like I do think it is important to kind of write down what you want. And so I will do that, but I use light language a lot. As well as channeling, because one, those are sort of my acts of spiritual devotion, because what I'm doing is I'm inviting higher frequencies into my system so that I'm going through like a vibrational entrainment process. And each time I do that, I'm aware that stuff is going to come up. And when that stuff comes up, I can be like, yes, okay, let's do something about this. So then I'm constantly trying and desiring and wanting to interact with higher frequency states so that my physical structure then becomes prepared and aware. And then I will practice this. So like the other day I had to go take my truck in, and sort of kind of annoying thing, right? And I could have let my mind go, oh, it's going to be really long, I'm going to be there all day. And so to me, that's kind of gives you an opportunity to sort of play a game. And I don't worry about it or project forward. I'm just like, I'm going to be in the moment. It's fine. Mahana, my dog, is with me. And then there was like nobody there. We laid on the grass for like an hour and a half. And then it was done. And so those are all really good opportunities. So when I use light language, what I'll do is I will write down goals or whatever it is I'm trying to do. And then because light language is sacred geometric frequencies that are expressed as vibration, where you are both the divine composer and the instrument, I believe that we're source and action mediating constantly between the unmanifest and the manifest. So because light language bypasses the mind and functions directly with the heart, it means if I have a goal, that when I put light language all around it, I know it's going to be more than that. Because even by setting that goal, I've already limited the goal. So I just let that unfold how it's going to unfold, and then make sure that anytime something that I could perceive as being negative, I'm always asking, what is the gift in this? Where's the opportunity in this? What is the gift in this? And so that's kind of how I manifest, but it's mostly like subconscious. And then the dragons are always like we are most efficient when we, again, bring joy into the process, which feels so backwards, right? Because so much of us, like so many parts of us, like, I just want to get this done and be done with it. How can I be more productive? Well, you can be more productive when you are experiencing joy in the process. And so that's something I'm always trying to remember.
Great, thanks. Go ahead, Jessie. And then we've got 3 more general questions about manifesting. I'm going to want us to go through with just like one sentence each. But go ahead, Jessie, answer this one.
Yeah. So there's this great channel, Bashar, and he's channeled by Daryl Anka. He's been around for 30 years, been teaching people about how to really connect with themselves and to get on a path. And he speaks all the time about finding your highest bliss, your highest point of excitement. If you gave yourself permission to ask yourself, what is the highest, most exciting, joyous, passionate thing I can do? And if that's get out of this room right now because I can't stand this person who's talking at me, then do it. Get out, do those things. But when we say no to those inspired thoughts, those inspired moments, then we are going to get that same lesson come back at us, because as Ashley was talking about, your subconscious mind is running all the time. Your conscious mind is running between 2 and 10% of the time. And that's 10% if you're really trained and focused and aware. You're consciously only ever going to be able to hint at the universe what you want. So until you understand the background, and this is how Bashar puts it, you can scream and yell at that mirror as much as you want to smile at you and be happy with you. But until you smile at that mirror, it can only reflect your own expression. So we can't avoid the what is. The what is. And I teach my students to get about the business of the isness. What is in front of you? What is in front of you? And if you gave yourself full permission, what would you do? And then do that. I think that's the most powerful way you can manifest.
Great. All right, let's see. I'm just going to read the other questions so we all see what they are. Should we keep it to one thing at a time, or is it okay to have many? Like, is it okay to attempt to manifest lots at a time? And then, is it best to manifest your dreams during the different phases of the moon, along with using tools, just as journaling, vision boards, or just by using spiritual candles only? And then someone else had a question. Would karmic debt from past lives play a role in living this lifetime, like in flow rather than resistance? So just past lives, and how does that impact things like karmic debt? Yeah, so just brief, like go ahead, Susie, like super brief answers.
Okay, first, Peanut Butter, I saw your question about manifesting with the moon. Yes, I absolutely believe you can do that. Releasing at the full moon, setting goals with the new moon, and whatever tools you use to work with that. And then about karmic debt, yes, that can hold you back if you've got some karmic ties to a past life. Yeah, and that is very doable to release those, to resolve those past lives, and to integrate that wisdom. And I forgot the third question. Thanks.
Should you do more than one at a time?
Oh, do more than one at a time?
Manifest.
I don't see why not. I think they would probably, to me, it sounds like it works better if they're interconnected in some way, but sure, if you can split your focus. Understandably, the more energy you put into a goal that you want to manifest, the more powerful it becomes. But why limit yourself? Why do we need to limit ourselves in what we do? Because we are in fact limitless.
Great. Okay, so everyone, quick answers, right? More than one, with the moon, and past lives. Karma. Go ahead. Looks like Jessie's one up first, and then Marianne.
So I'm going to just tackle the past lives part. I'll let other people talk about the other things. Here's the deal. There's no such thing as past, present, or future. There's just the now. And you are experiencing the now. And so if you're not happy with the now, you're going to start looking to these other times, places, and spaces, and then you're going to start orienting and identifying there. Yeah, then you'll have some karmic stuff happen to you. Bring that stuff back to the now. If you're finding yourself pulled, oh my God, I have no luck, I'm always blah, 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 I never blah, blah. Well, then maybe, start looking into some other past life stuff if you haven't been able to resolve it other ways. But ultimately, you need to orient in the here and the now, present state awareness. This is how we transition into the next frequencies that Galactic Ashley's been talking about. Present state awareness.
Thanks, Jessie. All right, Marianne.
I was drawn to the moon question, and I think it's like really great, just like Susie said, to use the moon to manifest and release. And I am a big supporter of using tools that resonate with you. Just because one person uses one thing doesn't mean it's going to, resonate with you and feel good to you. So just use what you're most drawn to. If there's an image that comes up to mind, if it's the candle, use that and really hone into the energies. There was something else that I was going to say before. It's, talking about like creating things and stuff like that. We have to remember we have to also act as well. And I think a lot of us have been saying that too. We can't just manifest things out of thin air. I wish we could be like that. But we also have to act on those things that we want. And I forget who mentioned it, but someone said to also, I lost my train of thought, but I'll just go on. And then regarding many dreams, yes, you can definitely do that. I think it's key to kind of tap into your own energy and see if you're being spread too thin, and really hone into what at this moment in time is what your soul is calling for you to focus on. And in terms of the karmic debt, it could play a role in it. It's as much as you want to believe into karmic debt and how that plays into things. If you believe in that, then it's going to have a huge draw in like what happens in your life.
All right, thanks. Anyone else want to answer about more than one at a time, the moon, and then, yeah, karma? Go ahead, Jenna.
I love what Marianne just said about the more than one time spreading yourself too thin, because I know that a lot of y'all here are Queen of Cups, Kings of Cups, and we like to just water everything. So really reining in, and sometimes also one thing I love Elizabeth Gilbert says is, so she was writing a book and then that book got put aside and then she couldn't quite come back to it, and she was trying to manifest it, trying to make it happen, and it was just not happening. And she realized that she had accidentally, in a sense, passed it along to somebody else to write with a kiss on the cheek. So some of these things we are channeling. And if you're channeling some sort of work that's through a genius of some kind, a genie coming through, maybe another spirit who wants this thing created, if you don't create it, it might pass over and go somewhere else. So let go of those things. They're not yours anymore. You don't have to do everything you said you were going to do unless there is an obligation to another human who you have a verbal agreement with. If it's just to yourself, letting go of some of those things that you've listed and cut your list down to what present pulls you. The moon thing, I created my class on the new moon of April on purpose, because it is better typically, according to most witchcraft guides, that we want to start on the new moon in order to learn and grow. And then when things are waning, let go and release. Just good wisdom. I think whatever techniques call you are the ones to use. I think journaling is super powerful, especially if you want to manifest, writing in the present tense. Super important, like it's already happened. And vision boards are fun just to kind of get your own head around things. And the last question was around, oh yeah, karmic debt. I agree with what Marianne said too, that if you've put a lot of energy towards your karmic debts, some of that can be our own lifetime of being told we're unworthy, being fed into with this, I owe something from a past life. So I personally believe in asking forgiveness for past lives and things that come up in this life that are clearly triggered by past lives, owning them fully. I actually believe that I mean, I don't know, things like not having kids. I didn't want to have kids, but I was told I did want to in this lifetime. So there was a lot of resistance and play with that, but I think it's a past life reason that I don't want them this round. So instead of, noticing what the resistance is it because society is pressuring you into that, but it's actually something that is in your flow to karmically let go of for this round? You'll do it again. I'm going to have babies again. No problem. Next time. So thinking of it like that, where what's the resistance, and is it
Just pull it
social?
in quickly.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. Great. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off if you wanted to finish. That's great. Yeah, so I think that putting one's energy into multiple things at once is good. I think that we do that in the process of life, and sometimes focusing is really good. So it doesn't mean it's only one thing, but focusing on one thing or focusing on fewer things. And then I was thinking about the planting and how planting, just the garden, and I don't remember what it's called, but planting with cycles of the moon and things like that is super important. So it made sense to me that manifesting in terms of the moon makes lots of sense. And oh goodness, I think all kinds of things from our history can weigh us down and pull us down. And our opportunity right now is to do something with that or about that, to loosen that, right? To know again that we're willing and worthy now, all those kinds of things. And messages from the past can get in the way of that stuff. Oh yeah, but we have opportunities to do all kinds of things now. Go ahead, Galactic Ashley.
This is just something really quick, and I don't know if we've said this and I just didn't hear it, but there's a huge power that we all hold in our voice and our ability to say out loud, to be witnessed by others, what it is we are trying to co-create. And to do that in a group can be hugely, hugely powerful. One, for you to be witnessed and for people to honor what you're trying to co-create or manifest without judgment, and then to have the group energy fields amplify that. So I find that doing this in group work, and I also believe that some of the reason why the moon manifesting works is because it's originally done with groups of women gathering together. And so there's this group gathering element and of course the cycles and everything. So I just want to say that. And so if you're not willing to say it in front of someone else, we've talked a lot about writing it down, at least say it out loud to the universe, the plants, your dog, your cat, whatever it is, so that it comes out of your vocal cords.
All right,
Because
great.
even our own ability to hear our voice, there's like a thing, I don't know what it is, but I was just reading about this the other day, but our brain recognizes our voice and that becomes so powerful.
All right, great. Well, we have 2 people in line so far, and one of them had to go and just came back. And so I'm going to jump on her question while she's here. And maybe just really quickly. So Mike asked, when manifesting, should we ask for highest good for all concerned? That's one way that people phrase it, upholding in the context of everything. And it looks like a lot of practitioners are agreeing. Yeah. So there are certain phrases that people integrate and utilize all the time. And that's part of, like, you ask a daily practice. That's like a regular practice, right? Or just the way we always do it. All right, let's see. So River is here and in line. River, did you want to jump in and speak? Let me go find where you are and I'll pin you to the front. There you are.
Here I am.
Did you want to turn on your video? It's up to you.
No, I'm kind of a mess.
Okay, you're good.
Thanks. How would we say that? My hair's a mess. I'm fine.
And yeah, so everything that we say, right, is a message to
Yeah.
the universe of what we believe. And so that's why clarifying all those little statements, and River knows that. Go River.
Yeah. Okay, so make it short as possible. For the last 10 years, I have manifested every single dream that I ever had. And I realized that the situation I am in is completely related to my ability to manifest, including making room for me to be a full-time artist now, that I've always wanted to do since I was 3 years old. And I also felt really wonderful for a couple of weeks after I had this opportunity to go full-time. And then now I feel very closed down, and there seems to be a lot of negative energy around my heart and in my gut. And I realize it's probably, how nervous do you have to be, how happy do you have to be before you start getting nervous about your life? So how do you get past imposter syndrome? What do you embody to get there? And I think that's it for right now. I had a couple of other things, but I think that we'll stop there for a sec.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to share a little bit and then Jessie's in line. So I mentioned Gay and Katie Hendricks earlier. So one of their other approaches is the idea of an upper limit, that we all have an upper limit about how good we'll let things get. Mm-hmm. We learn it from our family of origin. Karma could play into that too, right? Past lives can play into that. We have an upper limit. And whenever life happens, whenever we let it happen, that we get above that, we scare ourselves. It doesn't feel safe. And so we do something to sabotage and bring things back down. Right. So it sounds like you let things in that was above your upper limit, right? Imposter syndrome. That's what it is. It's when we let something in that's above the limit where we've been. And for me, the big thing whenever this happens is to notice. So you've noticed. And the second thing is to love ourselves for letting it go above that limit. Really appreciate ourselves that we let ourselves go above that limit. And loving ourselves for the process and the journey of where we are now, even like where we are in the moment as we're noticing. And just gently letting ourselves turn around and have some statement of willingness. If I'm willing to expand my limit, I'm willing to let myself be creative. I'm willing to open my life to embrace this. And it doesn't mean like to shuttle yourself all the way there immediately. You don't have to push yourself faster than you can go, but just starting to turn yourself around if I'm willing to head in this direction. And the big thing is to love yourself for having let yourself go above that limit. It's the love is what opens things up. All right, we've got Jessie in line and then Jenna in line.
So first of all, what I want to speak to is when we are exposed to the pure vibration of love, whether that's emanating from within us because we're in love with the experience that we're having, or whether that's radiating at us because somebody is so in love with witnessing us in our authentic joy and bliss, that is going to rattle loose out of you like a shaker plate any beliefs, frequencies, programmings, past actions, past associations that say, I'm not worthy of this love. I'm not worthy of this. I can't do this. I can't maintain it. And the key is to witness it, to witness that belief and witness yourself, the part of yourself that believes that to be true, until you view yourself with awe and wonder. The child self that had the dream in the first place, that still's holding the dream, that can feel joy and love in the dream. So we have to find the love within ourselves. And as we are doing this process of manifesting, stepping into a state of love with our life, with our experience, we're going to then contract. Expansion and contraction is the natural state of the universe. So we are going to expand with the new idea, then we're going to contract back with our limitations and beliefs, pulling them forward. Then we're going to expand with our new awareness, and then we're going to contract again. This is the way it is. Be okay with the contraction. Be okay with the expansion. This is growth. So be okay with being afraid. Be okay with being an imposter. If you feel like you need to, speak to it. Say, hey, anybody else feel like they're an imposter? Me too, but here's what I learned, and move on anyway. That's my advice.
Great. All right, we've got Jenna, then Susy, then Marianne. Go ahead, Jenna.
Hi, River. So I actually just ended up pulling a reading for you that feels very specific to you, but I think a lot of you are going to relate to, because it's flanked by the manifester of the magician, who is the prime yang energy of manifestation, and the high priestess is flanking the beginning and end of the deck of the spread, which I love. And the high priestess is pure yin manifestation of using your intuition and your deeper knowing to get to your answers. So with that, we have in the center the distraction that you are allowing, and it's a way of creating what the imposter syndrome creates in us, the need to deflect into areas and scatter ourselves. And so you have the King of Wands reversed, who's going the wrong way through the desert and doing too many things and heading, zigzagging through the desert without enough water. So you want to make sure that you are and then with it, notice they're all very similar cards, the Chariot reverse. So if you look at these two images, both of it has people going backwards, upside down, and being led by an animal of some kind in these cards. So it's like, to me, that's your animal nature that doesn't feel worthy of this gift in life, pulling you the wrong direction, zigzagging you through on an instinct level instead of intuition level. Our instinct can be a lot of fear, while our intuition is pure calm. So the cards are asking you to own that you have a manifestation power, which you clearly stated, and listen to your deeper intuition. I also pulled the I Ching for you with the card of limitation, which again relates to where do you cut out the flack in your life and rein into the pure straight line through the desert. And finally, on your note, I felt called to share that one time I was frustrated that I wasn't creating enough. And a friend of mine said, look at that orchid. That orchid doesn't bloom every day of the year. You need to allow yourself also to have blooming periods, like Jessie was saying. And then the contraction period, think of it like when the orchid's not blooming, getting ready for its next bloom. So allow that flow to happen and set limitations on your resistance strategies that pull you away from your clear desire.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Jenna. All right, Susy, and then Marianne.
So we had a practice circle a few days ago, and there was a lot of talk about imposter syndrome. And now that I've had a chance to think about it, pulling in what Galactic Ashley said, there's a lot of subconscious resistance for us to do it. And also Jessie was and Jenna are using contraction. And what I wrote down is like, they call it a labor of love. So not everybody goes through labor, I get that, but there is that one point where it hurts so much and you think, I just can't do it. And then it shifts, it shifts. And so getting to that point where it hurts so much and then you think, okay, poof, and then it's over and it feels like, oh, okay, this is great. I also believe, I think it was Patrick Rothfuss who wrote an amazing passage. Pardon me? Oh, you're talking to somebody else, Trevor. Okay, no worries. But there was an author, I think his name is Patrick Rothfuss, who wrote an amazing passage about how words have power. And of course, that's the only thing I took out of it because, okay, but I believe that your inner talk has a lot to do with it. It's, you get to that point where you're hitting a wall and you think, can I do this? I can't do it. Do I deserve to do it? So using the language with yourself that you would use with someone else, you're trying to talk through a rough time, use that language for you. So, okay, I'm tense. Take your inner critic out for lunch or something. Just sit down with the inner critic, have tea with it and say, okay, so lay it on me. What do you think? And, thank you for your input and I'll get out of here or something like that. But allow yourself the opportunity to speak to yourself in such a way that you uplift yourself like you would a friend.
Great. Thanks, Susie. All right. We've got Marianne and Galactic Ashley.
Some things that came to me was maybe this time is for you to learn something with your experience and surrendering to the present moment, using your breath. And when you do surrender to the present moment, you can really tap into your heart space, your internal being, and just feel all the love and all the joy. And also maybe sitting in and talking to the inner child, maybe hugging your inner child. There might have been something in the past, I don't know if it's in this life or a past life, that they just needed some tender loving care. So you can sit and just get a little curious with some emotions that come up from that. And sitting with the words like, I am worthy, saying it a few times and see how it feels, like the vibrations that are flowing through you. And because you are worthy, and saying those words in the present moment when you're tapping into your internal self, see what arises and see what happens.
Yep, that's great. Go ahead, Galactic Ashley.
Okay, so real quick, one of the first things that came through, well, first of all, congratulations. That's amazing. And then secondly, and this is from personal experience, there was a moment, I think I was 21, I just had this art show. I was like all proud of myself, and then it was over, we took it down, and then it was like up in my house, and I was sitting there looking at these images, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like my own work started like freaking me out a little bit. I was like, I don't know if I could like beat myself. I don't know if I could ever do better than this. So I was like, I have to get these off the wall and put them away, because it's almost like I'm now in competition with myself, and I don't know if I can ever do better than that. And so I think that might be something to think about, like to just give yourself permission to create in the way that you experience joy without judging your creations, because oftentimes what happens is if we feel senses, if we have parts of ourselves that feel unworthy, when we create something and we basically take the enfolded and unfolded into the universe, we create something that's physical, then we have proof, look, I am worthy. I have this proof that I am worthy. And then we can like psych ourselves out. So then we have to go and create another thing to reprove ourselves, when that's really not the point of creation. And so it makes me wonder if that might be something for you to look at, because I find that I always ask for purity of motivation anytime I'm doing anything, whether it's like cleaning the kitchen, because I want to do something and take what I call inspirited action from a place of being, and I want to be motivated by something that's internal to me, not because I want to avoid getting yelled at or to avoid getting in trouble. I want to do it because I'm bringing in a higher frequency. I'm bringing in the frequency of truth, and I'm willing each time I go through a contraction and expansion phase that I know it might not feel good, but I'm trusting that when I reach these outer limits, what's really being asked of me is to expand beyond where I perceived my ability to love. Because it's easy to love something that's lovable, right? Like a cute little dog or something. But then what happens is then I have to go inside and look at where do I have to unconditionally love myself within myself. So
Just
I
Galactic
guess,
Ashley, I wanted you to pull it in quickly because River's got to run in a moment.
okay. So that's all. It's good. But anyways,
Anything?
congratulations on getting as far as you've gotten, and we've all experienced imposter syndrome, and it's okay.
Thanks so much, River. Any questions or anything you want to share just before you leave?
No, thank you. All of you had pieces that were absolutely right on, and I really appreciate all of you. And namaste.
Thanks, River. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yay. Oh, great. All right, let's see. So let me take the opportunity to jump in and share something that I neglected to share earlier, and River knows us well. So fortunately, that's good with River. So please, if you could allow the attention to stay up on the panel when we're answering people's questions, that would be great. We know everyone's intuitive, so chances are something might come through you while we're sharing. Maybe write it down so you remember. And then instead of putting it in the chat for everyone, please let the attention stay up in the panel. But instead, if you want, when we're done answering someone's question, you could write them privately in chat and ask them if they'd like to hear what came through for you. Please honor whatever they share. It's possible that they will feel full after hearing from all of us, and just trust that it came through you for some reason. We encourage you to be open to learn from everything that's asked and everything that's answered today. And then also, when you ask a question, we may start talking about a different area than you want us to be talking about. We may go deeper than you want us to be talking about, particularly given that this is recorded and being posted online. So please, if that's the case, or if there's some way in the beginning you want us to narrow our responses, please let us know. We're here to honor you. Jump in and wave your hands and call out and write in the chat or whatever works to get our attention so we can change course and honor you in our response. And I put that in the chat too, but I neglected to say it earlier. So thanks so much, everyone, for flowing with that. All right, we've got another person in line with a question. We've got Martha in line next. Let me go find Martha and bring you up here. Martha.
Here again.
All right, let me go move to the front. Probably you're at the front now. Ooh, there you are, Okay, great. It's great. We got some people that come back and ask us questions multiple times. It's great and flattering, and we love that we can be part of your journey. Go ahead.
Yes. So so I thought that this was a topic that hit me right in the center, because as many of you know, I'm in the process, and I am going, and I'm getting better at it, discerning what is my purpose, and just to go with it. And I just want to hear, whatever people have for me today, because I couldn't let this opportunity go. So shoot.
Maybe again, I'll say a little bit too, as people are getting set up. I love that you say that you're getting better at it. You're owning that you're on the pathway of it, that you are discerning. So in general, I feel like my awareness of things is always getting more clear. My awareness of my own purpose is always refining and tuning. So on the one hand, you know the best you know right now, and the thing to do is to take action in alignment with where you are now while you're on the path of further deepening and knowing. That said, I know practically you're considering making some big changes, and you want to have like enough sense that you're on a good path and that you're far enough on your path, or you know how far you need to be right before you change some practical things. So I know that's all there too.
Mhm.
But I just deeply appreciate you owning that you're on the journey, that you're already discerning. That's super important. All right, let's have Jessie go, and then more will come.
Hi there, beautiful.
Hello.
So first of all, when we are trying to decide a new direction, a new path, a new way that we want to go, as I've said before, we have to identify what our highest excitement, if we gave ourselves permission, if we took away the idea, how will I get paid for it? And instead brought in the idea of, I am so passionate about this. That's one way of beginning to start to get an idea, and as we want to move forward. But the universe shows us what our path is because of the opportunities that it places in front of us. And those come in the form of challenges, or they come in the form of excitements. And it's about our willingness to meet them as they show up. So if we are resisting what is in front of us to do and what shows up for us to do, and it is usually something where we have to stretch ourselves, where we maybe aren't quite sure how to show up in that space, it's a practice to step into the unknown. One of my great teachers and guides said, if you can see the path in front of you, it's not yours, actually. You're supposed to not know. That's the surrender that we have to experience when we step into the humility of true flow and grace. And as far as my personal experience has gone, when I want to know before I take the step, I sit for a really long time. But when I start taking the steps, things show up for me. And then sometimes I surprise myself with where I go. And it's not anything I could have ever known.
Yep, great. All right, we've got Jenna in line next.
Hi, Martha. It's good to see you.
Hi.
So I love that your spread is also flanked in a really poetic way with the completion card of the world at the beginning and the Fool card at the end. So what's in between these is what matters, is that you're kind of in a limbo between completing something and starting something new. And so letting that be okay. There's been a lot of cards around limbo. And so letting yourself be okay that you're not certain yet. And what's the cards in between to get you there? First is the Sun card reversed with the Three of Swords reversed, which is kind of a card that's a combo saying, when I was young, someone said to me, young people define themselves by what they're not. Elders define themselves by what they are. And I feel like you're going through kind of a young phase of sort of noticing what you're not. And what the cards are asking you is to step into what you are, your Knight of Pentacles and your Strength card. Your Knight of Pentacles being your practical self who wants to go slowly towards something and build and strengthen in something. And the Strength card being knowing who you are at your core strength. What are you naturally good at that just feels like ease and flow when you do it? Knowing that will take you into the next journey. And so right now the cards are saying to take it easy, notice what you're not with acceptance and love, notice what you are and tap into your strengths. And then also the cards are asking you to decrease something. So the I Ching for you is the 41, and it's saying there's something in your life to round up this completion. There's some area of your life you're going to have to kind of like tampen down on and do less of in order to really step into this next phase. You're going to have to let go of something from the past a little bit and stop doing so much energy towards something that's not serving this next self. But let yourself be in limbo and be okay with that.
Thank you.
All right, we've got Marianne and then Susie. And I want to mention just in between here, you look particularly beautiful tonight. So some of your other talents are showing right now.
Thank you.
Hi, Martha. Thanks for being here. Some things that came up were, being true to yourself, asking, is this what I want? And seeing what comes up. And, when you're asking the question, whatever comes up to be the first thing, be curious about it. There's a lot of truth to the first answer that might come up to that question. And then just reminding you that like your subconscious, your soul knows the answers. So finding ways to connect with that part of you, and seeing what comes up may lead you into the next direction or next step. And then also seeing and noticing like the signs around you. You might have some guides that might be trying to connect with you and guide you along your way. So just recognizing those little things that might come up. And, or if you have like images that come to your mind as you're just walking outside, maybe look into it and get curious about it and see where that leads you. And then just try it out. And if it doesn't work out, switch to the next thing. I've been reminded by like other teachers and stuff, that sometimes you have to let the flow happen and be like flexible, and don't get so discouraged if something doesn't work out, because there's always something on the next door or in that next lane for you to do in your life.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Susie.
Hello, Martha. It is your Lady of Lords. You understand you are love, that you are made to love. You are made to share the love. You are made to share the healing. At this point, you are working on healing yourself, on recovering, regrouping. And as this energy builds, it will come forward in such a way as to heal not only yourself, but others, as the Galactic one says, as I heal, you heal, as you heal, I heal. This is a chant she uses, and it is important for you. What else do we want to say to you? If you would please call in the energy of the golden healer. It is this crystal this one has, or a fire quartz, which has flashes in it. And you can call in the energies of these crystals to help to not only heal you, but the colors of them, they include help you to develop that confidence in yourself, to go out and actually spread this healing energy you have that you can use with others. This is a big shift from what you have been doing. We understand that. And it is a shift we all get to make as the time, as the world heals. We all shift more into our healing abilities. So yes, that is your purpose. Your purpose is to love, and your purpose is to share. And as you share, you heal. We bless you.
Thank you.
All right, great. Any other comments from Martha?
I think I have something. I don't know. Everybody seems to be freezing. Am I freezing? Am I fine?
You're fine. We can
Am I
see you and
coming
hear
through
you.
fine right now? I don't think so.
Oh, now you're freezing.
Not say anything.
Yeah, you just froze now. We can turn off your video. Galactic Ashley. Ooh. Okay, well, there's a text to her, but well, let's see. Hopefully Galactic Ashley will be right back. And then, so part of what I was thinking is how much you are in action, Martha. How much are you? Yeah, Galactic Ashley's, oh, she's back. Here we go. Let's pin her again.
I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. We can see you and hear you now.
Okay. This is just really quickly, but this is what came up is to release the. I have absolutely no idea what anybody else said before me, because all I was getting was and everybody was just frozen. So I got to release the need to know so that you can truly know, which is basically embracing the unknown, which is part of what we're going through as a collective anyway, but it feels particularly very important for you. And also the getting comfortable with the liminal space, because that is what we exist in. So you can, when I was in grad school, I really, really studied everything. All of the work that I did had to do with this liminal space and liminality. And so when I look at my own family culture, I basically looked at what an island is and what islandness means. And to me, islands are points of connection, not points of separation. And in the academic world, this is often discussed a lot. But I also see us as these human bodies as basically physical islands, and we are really points of connection. So what I feel like is being asked of you is to find where you want to create these points of connection and to see yourself as sort of a hub of connection, and to get really, really comfortable with the liminal space. And I don't think you have access to like the ocean or something, but if you ever find yourself at the beach or the lake, especially the ocean, where the waves come up, is sort of like this idea about where water meets land. And this is very much a natural liminal space that you can sort of access. Also, the threshold to your front door. This is a liminal space of separation between your outer world and your inner world and your home. So sort of playing with where you experience thresholds in your own life, what those thresholds mean, and where you can experience liminality in your physical experience, I feel like can really help bring comfort into exploring your liminality and giving yourself permission to desire. We often don't do that, I think, enough. And then to follow those desires and then let that unfold. And this kind of goes with, I did hear Jessie say something, not focusing on the how. So that's all.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So I'm going to comment on what I was starting to say earlier, and they're all different perspectives, right? It's so see what resonates with you, right? What's of service to you. There are ways too that it might be good to step in somehow in the moment, not, I just mean small steps, taking steps, playing with things, experimenting with things of what your purpose might be, and collaborating with someone, volunteering for something. Imaginary play of setting something up and what it might be like. So they don't have to be steps of commitment. They're steps of exploration, right? And discovering how you feel while you're engaging in a way that you would be living that as your purpose, right? So notice how you feel in your body. Where do you feel energized, right? Let your body, all your cells get an experience of making it real. Yeah, so that's something to do now while you're exploring.
Yes.
Yeah. And I want to encourage you too, it goes back to maybe the very, very beginning of what I shared too. There's no getting it perfect, right? There's not like there's one thing and one little fine thread and you got to find that thing. And like it's an evolving thing and it's sending yourself in that direction of it. And so exploring with things so you can see where's the direction, that really resonates with you. And so I think you've seen me do before. The idea is like to take 2 spots on the ground, step in one and say, my purpose is blah, or, I'm going to blah, my purpose is blah, this other thing. And just, that's a way of stepping into it, literally stepping, but taking this on of saying what it is and noticing what happens with your cells, what happens with your energy. How do you feel? Do you feel in resonance with this? Does it feel like, right, you're heading in that direction and it's in alignment? So all kinds of things like that you can do. All right, anything else for Martha? Great. Thanks so much, Martha. I hope that, right, you're just helping like enrich and getting this loose and juicy. And
yes, I love coming here. Sometimes I feel like I'm being a nag, but with the same thing over and over. But I know it takes a while. I know, and I was actually was saying about releasing the need, and I've been thinking lately that I have to like loosen up and let go for a little bit, because like sometimes I get really tense and with like very passionate and I want it now. I want the like the lightning to hit and then I'm in enlightenment totally.
Yeah, so it looks like Susy's got some more to share, but yeah, so taking a few days where you're intentionally, I'm not going to think about it, and every time you discover you're thinking about it, turn to go another direction. That may be where you have a bam and an opening. Go ahead, Susy.
Oh, I just wrote in comments is that it all happens in divine timing, which is very often not fast enough for us.
Exactly.
So
yes.
if you're looking for that lightning to blow you out of the water, I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah, so and someone else shared in the chat too that you're not the only one. Thank you so much for asking this question. So very relevant for others. And I'll give you an example too of how your energy is different. If we go back a few panels when you're asking, I don't remember what it was, but somewhere we go back when you were asking in the beginning, you're so much more able to get this question out of your mouth now. Your whole system is that much more in alignment with this. Go ahead, Susie, what else? Oh.
I'm sorry, I was reacting to what Galactic Ashley said, and I was sorry.
No, it's cool. Your hand went up again. So I was like,
now.
Galactic Ashley is frozen again. So we're going to have to get Galactic Ashley back in again somehow. Okay, she's gone and she's coming back.
Oh, bugger. No,
Yeah.
she said divine timing and divine orders are our best friends. And I was trying to respond, yep. And so look, now it's out on the recording. Tra-la.
It's great. It's great. It's perfect. Okay, go ahead. And Jessie has something else too.
I just want to say, when we try to rush that divine timing, I got the lightning bolt. Like, I literally had someone at my house and I handed them one of my stones, and I kid you not, lightning struck a paver less than 3 feet away from where we were standing. And she was like, "Oh, you're special." And I was like, "Psh, I don't even know what you're talking about. I make clothes, So timing happens so you can step into it, you can practice it, you can expand into it, you can open and unfold into it. And when we try to force ourselves, that's when we start tripping and stumbling. So lightning can strike, but if you don't believe it, you're not ready, you're not willing, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. I see Galactic Ashley is back again. All right, cool. And I see now that a couple other people have stepped in for questions. So let me get that. Great. Anything else from Martha? Yeah.
I just wanted to respond to that. I really am trying to.
I can't see who's talking. I'm sorry. Who's talking?
Shelly. My name's Shelly. I have a green highlight.
Oh, Shelly, sorry. I'm just,
Yeah.
we request that you allow the energy to stay up with the panel so we don't have people in the audience respond. I'm so sorry. If something came through for you, if you could please, when we're finished answering Martha's question, write her privately in chat and see if she's open to what came through for you. We really want to honor just the practitioners that I've invited to be on the panel and also the person that's asking the question, so they have choice about that.
Okay, well, I'll just go to a different one because I'm all about, I think we can learn from everyone, not just a few.
I agree, and we do, and we have practice circles where we're doing that too now. Thank you. All right, great. All right. So thank you, everyone. It's a community and we're all exploring doing this together, and different events are set up in different ways. All right, and anything else for Martha? And we've got a couple more people that are in line. Thanks so much, Martha. It was lovely to be with you again. All right. Let's see. So we've got Stacy in line, and then I don't remember who this is, but it says Nurse Wellness Facilitator. I don't remember, so I'll go figure out who that is or write me in the chat. All right, great. So Stacy, you're going to be next. Here you are. Let me get you up here up front. Great. Go ahead, Stacy.
Hi, everybody. I was to message Jessie, but I don't like the whole energy shift in the last 9 minutes. So I have been just yawning and clearing whatever that was. And just I was telling them, we are being watched by a lot of people right now. But anyways, thank you all for being here and talking about manifestation, because I think it's something that sometimes I focus so much on that I then counter manifest. But I guess my question might be a little bit more general and or direction, whether that's from your guides or however you do your work. I very much know that there's a shift or something happening in terms of what my employment is going to be. Something's going to happen in the employment, making money arena. I have a full-time job right now. I got offered another job this week. I got a national award this week, and I have this huge talk I'm doing to my alma mater next week. And there's all these things that keep popping up. And I think it's just to maybe just what I'm feeling is to open doors and to open my mind and maybe make sure I'm trusting my worth. Honestly, I don't even really know what the question is, other than any little tidbits of messages that maybe you're getting in that direction of, maybe continuing to, if it's to break down something to, then I think there's multiple things. I think you guys can all go off that. I know you can.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. And people may have more things they want to ask or something like that too as we go through. Well, you said something to us right before you started. And I think that you said it to yourself too.
Probably.
You said, many people are watching us. And it sounds like you've brought attention to you. There are many more people that are watching you right now,
Oh.
right? Many more people are seeing what you're bringing. And you just yawned. That's so interesting.
Yes. Yeah, it's
Just
usually
some
when
of the process for you and the shift in the energy too may have been, that you were getting ready to ask a question and to ask this question,
could be.
right? So you and like integrating this question and integrating and opening to what's here. And yawning is often a way that we change the oxygen level in our body. So yeah, some way that you're going through some shifting. You have a beautiful, I say like medium to largest sized energy of like confidence and the stepping into things and a trust of your capacity to manifest, to move things towards results. This is some of the things that I see in your eyes. Yeah, one of your talents that I see is called warrior. It's about results and making steps towards something, making something happen. And you probably also love to learn, right? You're good at details and you have something that's really social and connects with people and rocks the bigger picture of things too. So yeah. And then you also bring in neutrality as part of that, to see things from multiple perspectives. And yeah. So integrating and moving things forward, and people have lots to share with you. So we've got Susy and Jenna and Marianne so far. Go ahead, Susy.
Hey, Stacy. In listening to you, the phrase "trusting your worth" really popped out at me. While I am not one who exclusively depends on external validation, it's frequently a catalyst or that nudge one can use to start believing. So you said, what, jobs, awards, big speech, you're getting some recognition for what you do. So use that as a means. It's possible to use that as a means to start shifting your self-talk about your worth. So these are people who believe in you. Again, I don't believe in absolutely depending on external validation, but this is certainly a nudge for you. And then lean into it and have fun with it. A lot of them keep talking about taking joy in it, finding that excitement for you, as Jessie says. So find that excitement and really enjoy it. I think that's what's going to put you. I'm seeing that there is a place of, oh, but what if I get too big for my head? My head gets too big. It's not. You're going to keep yourself in a place where you are doing what you're supposed to do. You're doing your job. You're getting recognized for it. Sure, you can get another job and you're talking, but you're going to do it from a place of, this is what I do. And this is what I love. And conveying that love is going to help you. And then that feeds back to you on shifting that sense of self-worth. So good luck. Have fun.
Thank you.
Great. All right. We've got Jenna and Marianne.
I love that you have two aces starting your deck, your spread out here, and it's the Ace of Cups upright and the Ace of Swords reversed. To me, that's saying that you're moving out of a way of, before I feel like you were stuck in a pattern of leaning into the thought of things and the intellect, and now you're moving into your heart space. Also, letting yourself have some negativities about things and being okay with that as long as your heart isn't a yes. Along with that, you're breaking out of certain levels of lack and poverty mentality, but that comes sometimes from hardship. So sometimes we gotta, if you have hardship that's come through in this past year or is around now, see that as a message of, how can I let go of limiting beliefs and lack mentality, and or because I'm ready for it? How can I just be done with that stuff? I think you're really moving into a creative field of some kind, and sometimes we have to get over our fears of, well, I won't make money doing that, that's a part of it. The beautiful thing is the end of your spread here has to do with the Sun card upright, which is all about you seeing the opportunity, the light of opportunity come through and grasping it. With the Devil card reversed of, I'm agreeing with Susy that your ego is not a problem here. When the Devil card reversed, that's saying that you're coming from a whole place of wholeness, of spirit, and of higher self. So trust that, move towards it, and the grungle the grunkle in your brain is stuff to be looked at and let go of. So don't even judge that. Just let it happen.
Thank you.
Great. All right, Marianne.
Hey, Stacy. Some things that came up is it's kind of like warming you up for the next big thing. So learn everything that you can from all these opportunities that you're experiencing right now, and trust, and then just see where it goes. And I also got the term lean into it, like Susy had said. If you're getting multiple like offers or things that come up, and maybe they're bumping into each other and you have to choose one or the other, like lean into it, take that moment of pause, and that stillness is where the answers will lie for you. And you can place your hands on your heart, do a few deep, nice breaths. And when you feel connected with yourself, ask yourself, should I do this? Should I do that? And see what warms your heart space the most.
It's funny that you guys are all saying heart space, because keeping that open is outwardly easy, receiving harder. But I just bought this necklace that is all about that. Keeping it open. It's I'm gonna forget what it is. I forgot, but that's what it's for.
That's great.
Jessie might remember. It's in a text but I forget what it is.
It's a Vogel
rutilated
tool.
quartz. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rutilated quartz and green aventurine.
Mm-hmm. It's called a tool of evolution. They're made by Vogel, and Dr. Vogel was a scientist who worked for IBM developing crystalline hard memory drive systems. And what he found was when crystals were cut in certain patterns, that they affected people in the lab differently. So he played around with different stones, different cuts, and they all had these pet projects in the lab. Then when he retired, he went on and made these tools of evolution. You can get them at Celestial Awakenings in Portland area, and I'm sure you can find them online. They are incredibly powerful. Here's what I did for you, Stacy. Now, Stacy and I are old friends. We work together in doing healing work, and she's been a dear person in my life. So I pulled 3 cards for you, Stacy, from the deck. And the first one was release. So this release says, let it go. It will go where it needs to. You need to release control. And I'm sorry, yeah, there's that horse yawn. My mom is a horse trainer, and she calls that the yawn of submission. Ah, the horse is now listening. Thank you. I don't need the carrot to lead me into the problem. I am willing to release my control and breathe deep into my body, relaxing my muscles, and recognize everything already is as it should be. The next card was permission. Permission is huge. If you're in my Life Mastery program, that is the biggest thing we talk about is permission, giving yourself permission. Permission to picture yourself living the dream and let the dream show itself to you. Get and feel the gratitude. If I were in a total state of gratitude, what comes to me as visuals of times where I've been that way before? How can I open myself to that? The last card was vitality. I'm going kind of quick just to not take too much time. Protecting your energy, inviting life-affirming relationships and releasing those vampiric relationships, honoring your body's requests. And as you know, as soon as you put that tool on, what did you become aware of?
Everybody else.
And how much you're holding for them.
Yeah.
And what did you do when you came on here to ask a question?
I started yawning.
You spoke for everyone else, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it's really, really important for you. If you want to be a manifester in your own life, you need to be immediate, personal, and local. It's about you, the vibration of you. Everything that's happening is happening for you, with you, because of you, in alignment with you, in co-creation with everything that's vibrating in resonant attraction to you. And that's all you can do is witness.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
Love you too. Like a swift kick in the ass.
Loving kick in the ass.
It's because you know you can take it.
I
It's 'cause
know.
we love you.
I feel joyous hearing that you're connected. That's great. Anyone have anything else to share with Stacy? I know Galactic Ashley didn't hear all of it. Maybe any of it. It's great. Fresh answer. So you want me to repeat any of what her question is?
I literally heard absolutely nothing from anybody in like the last 15 minutes. So I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, you're having
basically.
internet entertainment. Well, let's see. So Stacy, I'm just going to repeat like a little bit of it. You said
Okay.
something's happening with employment and making money. And then you had said the phrase, many people are watching us, right before you said that. And you meant this group. And then you said like you recently got some awards, doors are opening. Maybe it's time to open your mind, trust your worth. You're not sure. So something's shifting.
That was good. That was a good recap.
I take notes.
You're a very good facilitator.
See what comes in.
It's funny. Also, Huxley's a dog. He's my sister's dog. He's just kissing me right now, like just licking my body up and down right now. He doesn't usually do that.
The only thing that I am picking up on and getting right now is it feels like you're being asked to embody an entirely different, it's still your frequency, but an entirely different frequency. And so it's going to feel weird, kind of like not wearing your clothes. So it's like if your future self brought you some new clothes and you've never seen them before, but you're being asked to put them on. So I think I would trust in the yawning. I've had to train myself that when I'm speaking in front of a group of people that I will see lots of yawning. That has nothing to do with me because I was like, oh no, I'm being boring or all of these things. And so to just give yourself permission to yawn because it's like huge energy shift is coming in, and to it's almost like the shoes might not seem like they're fitting, and so you're being asked to kind of like grow into them a little bit. So you might be a little clumsy, and that's okay, because just like when a kid starts walking, they fall and people think it's cute. So just remind yourself that I'm cute right now while I'm growing into this new skin or this new vibration. It's a really, really good sign. And of course, anytime we embody sort of, we'll just say next level vibration, whatever that means, sometimes things will shed. So that's not a warning. Don't freak out or contract. But I feel like I'm saying this because it feels like you'll be able to enjoy your cuteness phase before some shedding starts to occur. So just give yourself permission to embody that. That's like your new power suit. So whatever does show up for you, you will be able to meet those challenges from a different vibration. And anytime we embody a new vibration, it means that we have a different perspective, and it's that perspective that is key to everything. So you will start seeing things in like ways that you've never seen them before. And that means current situations and people and things that are around you. And just, you don't have to take any action on them. Just give yourself permission to see from that perspective, and then sort of let that integrate, and then take your inspirited action on whatever it is that you decide.
Thank you.
That's great. All right. Anything else for Stacy? Great. Now Jessie's got the yawns. Jessie's got stuff happening too. Sweet.
Thank you, everybody, so much. I appreciate it. And I felt great alignment with that. And yes, you were not boring me. Yawning is just how I clear or receive or whatever is in that moment. So thank you very much.
Energy shift. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for your question and for being here with us. All right. Let's see. We've got Maria in line and then Jessica. So Maria, let me go find you. Bring you up to the front. You are ready. Where's Maria? Aha. This might be you. Maria, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Up to you if you want to turn on your video.
I'm good.
All right.
I guess I'm honestly, I'm just open to whatever messages you guys have for me today, whatever information you'd like to share. I don't have any specific question. I'm open.
Okay. Well, while everyone's getting ready, pulling cards and all that, it looks to me like one thing that's really important to you is connecting with people. So how have you been doing during COVID? How connected are you?
It's been really difficult because I moved away from my tribe, 3,000 miles away from all the people I love. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it's been difficult.
And how have you done with connecting with people online or making friends where you are or staying connected with people, creating one-on-one connections or group connections with your people?
This has been an amazing resource for me, honestly. I'm like so grateful for this because, but more recently in the last few days, I've just, people have been kind of showing up in my life. And so it's just been nice to be able to connect with people on that spiritual level, and have those conversations that, you know, you long to have those deep conversations with people.
Yeah. All right, great. And everyone, I'm picking this up about Maria from her eyes and her photo. All right, Galactic Ashley and then Jessie, go ahead.
I think this is just a brief. I'm not. I'm unclear about if there's if you something about the relationship with your mother, but I'm unclear if it's with your mother or if you have children, and it might be both ways. But it feels like there's a mother energy that's coming in, and it's what you're being asked to do is to activate. What? Oh, there I am. I was like, what is happening? to activate the divine mother within you, and you're being asked to to be your own divine mother and to step into that power and to release the need to have a mother that is external to you, which I understand is difficult. I mean, from my perspective, it was not the easiest thing to do, but it also, as soon as I did that, allowed for a greater freedom and openness, and actually opened the relationship more because I released the expectation of my mother to be my mother. So, and that really came from it's just activating this divine mother within you and to be nurturing. And it feels like this act of what is being perceived as separation, as separate from everyone, has really been a really big incubation period for you. And it feels like you're already aware that that's might be coming to a close because people are starting to show up, and to basically this is about co-creation and manifesting, but you can manifest your own tribe.
Thank you.
Great. All right. We've got Jessie and then Jenna and then Marianne.
Hi, Maria. I'm glad you
honey.
came. Another lovely friend of mine. Such a brilliant woman, and you're so giving and so generous. So here's what I got. First, I just want to back up what Ashley said, and I'm going to be super quick on that. For myself, my mother I love her dearly. She's amazing. She's such an inspiration. However, she's also the person who is single-handedly, created all the room for everything that happened in my life that was traumatic and awful, because she was in her own wounded pain. And I had an experience where I was woe is meing to God. I was crying about how I had no parents, no adults, no one to help me, no support growing up. And I felt like so lost. And who could I have become had I just had one adult to help me? And God said, why do you keep asking for humans to be the parent of the child of God? You came to be the child of God, a child of light. And so allow God to be the mother and father for you, and let that go. And let instead her to be the human who showed you the wounding that humanity is suffering through. And that was a huge thing for me. And when my mother and I came back together to speak for the first time after 6 years of separation about 2 years ago, and I told her about this, we both wept. And she said, Jessie, I never felt like I could be your mom. I always felt like you were so much more the mother. I'm so sorry I couldn't be your mom, but can I be your friend? And we changed our relationship, and we've been growing and healing deeply since then. I got 3 cards for you: container, expansion, and friction. And here's what I view that as. container talks a lot about being intentional about what you're doing and how you're vibrating with your relationship with your reality. Who am I to what and how? And can you hold space for spirit to show you who you are and what you are instead of the definition you've created for yourself? Releasing that feminine. Expand. You're in an expansion period. You're expanding into a different space, and that's why you had to leave a space where you were already pretty well defined. And oh my, did we respect and love the defining that you had created of yourself. But you have to be free to become something new.
Yeah.
And then friction. Here's something Source has been telling me when I have been lately woe is meing about some of the grinding hard lessons. Ouch, that was rough, said the knife to the hone. But thank you. I'm much sharper now. You can go be a stone again. So right now you're having a stone rub up against you. You're having some rough edges be smoothed out so you can find that sharper focus of your next steps. And again, Spirit, it's guiding you. And I know that right now that's hard. I love you, and I hope that helps.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, great. We've got Jenna and then Marianne and then Susie.
I have to unmute myself. Hi there. You know, one thing I have to just share that I love about these fairs is that what happens to me often is I'll pull cards and I'll think, oh, is that right? I don't know. And then someone will speak and they'll be like, they'll say something and I'm like, it's just like it just validates the card I was uncertain about. And today my uncertainty card was the maternal and mother card. So I thought it was really, you know, just all those people who are watching right now who are themselves intuitives, just trusting that doubt and letting it be okay. So the first thing the cards want you to know is even though it caused sorrow, the move here was a good choice. You did the right thing. And that you are kind of moving away from a different way of being. And you're coming into your fire as a page of wands, which can be a little awkward sometimes when, you know, you're realizing your full extroversion in a different way because you don't have your direct community. And you're just really acknowledging that the ways you're ready to let go of from the past. So you left home, you came here, you started fresh, but there's still more to let go of your old self.
Mm-hmm.
With that, though, is this card of that motherly card. And with it, you have the Four of Pentacles reversed, which can sometimes be about clinging a little too fiercely to that which comforts us in some way. And it can also be, I don't know, to me, a card of a little bit of stagnation because it's like structure with structure and then you become over structured. And so that's with the Empress card reversed, which is the shadow of the maternal. And so what I'm feeling here is that, yeah, there's something of recognizing what your shadow work is around motherhood, either in the maternal, in the overarching picture of matriarch, or your mother or yourself as a mother. And I think that that's something to just honor, that we have to accept our whole selves. The shadow work is basically looking at our whole selves and loving the whole self. And that can sometimes be a little awkward.
Mm-hmm.
With it, you have the Four of Swords upright, though, which is another structure card of overthinking things, and you need to kind of, whatever your mind is spinning on, sort of pulling away from it. Make sure, by the way, that you're not sort of out of your, I just realized the Page of Wands mixed with the Four of Pentacles can be someone who also like spends too much money haphazardly out of feeling like they have to just like throw outward instead of go inward. So be aware of that. But when you're going inward, also being conscious to not be overly fierce about fixing something mentally. Instead, tap into your full High Priestess intuition and really step into your intuition, allowing yourself to access your own inner quiet knowing that's not from the mind and really is in a place of your belly more. And also your I Ching card is the abundance card. It's like you have so much and you know that, and there's a certain level of gratitude that comes with it, but it can be a lot of things to manage at once energetically. So yeah, I mean, letting yourself kind of like find a balance between inward outward motion and with maternal shadows loving your whole self and loving your whole mother's self as best you can right now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenna. All right, we've got Marianne and then Susie.
Hi, Maria. Thanks for sharing your heart with us. And I loved what everyone else has shared so far. It's so good. And the few things that came up for me is, listening to your heart space for the answers and to give yourself some comfort. So really digging deep into your spirituality and finding the light within and connecting to God, source, the universe, whatever you may believe in. And maybe it's also spirit guides, healed ancestors, finding connection within, and feeling like just, the love and the family that you have around you. They may not be like in the physical form. And also giving yourself some grace during this time. Maybe finding ways to release. So that could be any form that resonates with you. It could be crying, laughing, dancing, just allowing for that release to come out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marianne. All right, go ahead, Susie.
Hey, Maria. As you were talking, looking at your photo, I can see, and as the conversations flowed, I saw Mother Mary, but I thought, nah, not quite. But there's also the partnership she had with the Magdalene, with Mary Magdalene. These are two very strong feminine forces. The Magdalene is considered the Sophia, to align with the Christos energy. So we're talking about wisdom, divine wisdom that is coming at people, and it is one to which one can sink. And I'm not attaching this to any sort of religious thing, because spirituality goes way beyond that.
Yeah.
But Mary Magdalene, they're both very nurturing, and what the Magdalene asks is that you. She is explaining that you are allowing yourself this space in which to shift into a new energy. Allow divine to nurture you as Marianne was talking about, to release. You're manifesting some newness here, a new environment, new people in your life, and new energy. And so this time is your time to shift. Allow divine to hold that space for you. Allow source to keeping along with the maternal, that nurturing thing. Allow the Magdalene to comfort you, to hold you, to create with you, she's saying. I don't know what that means. She says, no, creating a new space for yourself in which to grow and to evolve. I've got these stones that I am so enamored with. They're called stones and hearts in progress. It's a carved stone that's not quite smooth. It's quite rough, and that's what we're pretty much all going through. This is that with all of the changes we're experiencing, our hearts are still in progress. Will they ever be ideal and perfect? They're perfect in this moment. And so she is asking you to release the control, to trust. So many of these answers I know involve trusting what source has in store for you, but she will give you that space. She will give you that strength to understand you can trust this process. And she says it's not for much longer, but it will come up with something you probably never even imagined. And I know we all can imagine quite a bit, but allowing it to manifest will be your greatest joy.
Thank you, Susie.
You're so welcome, Maria. Thank you.
Great. All right. Anyone else want to share something with Marie? All right, great. Marie, anything you want to share just in general in response? It's fine if there's nothing, but anything else you want to, any comment?
I know that all really resonated with me. One of my issues about moving back home was my relationship with my biological, my mother, because I have been the mother my whole entire life. I have not been allowed to be the child my whole entire life. So that really does make a lot of sense. And just like you guys said, being an allowance, what kind of put the pieces together for me today was when I moved from Portland to New York, I was trying to bring the same me energy here, right? My big energy, my moving mountains energy, my super manifesting energy. And it's like, okay, well, you already did all that. So you got the t-shirt. Now it's time to like switch into something else. So just being an allowance of that, it's been hard to say the least, and letting go of that control. So yeah, that everything that you guys are saying gives me more clarity as to what I've been experiencing. And, I have been trying to take that time to, and being grateful to be given that time to really step back and try to process this all. So thank you guys.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much for allowing us to be here with you in your process. All right. I love what we all do together. Well, one thing I want to mention, let me put it in the chat again, just as we move along. We've got 2 more questions that we're answering. So practitioners, if there's anyone that can stay a few minutes after, that would be great. The last question is going to be something about dreams. And I just put in the chat, oh, that's the wrong thing. I put the wrong thing in the chat. No more questions today. What I meant to put in here is that if you are willing to share feedback with us about the panel and share your email address, we'll put you in a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. We'll also be able to share with you about all kinds of other things we have going on. You'll be on our email list. And right? So if you want to give us feedback and be in the drawing, please go ahead and do that. If you give us any feedback, we have testimonials from you we can use anonymously. Just thrilled to find out how it's going. If you have ideas of how we can make the events better and better, helps us a lot. All right, let's see, we've got questions from Jessica and from Michelle coming up. All right, Jessica, let's go find you. There you are, right there. All right, Jessica.
Hi, everyone. Just first and foremost, I have so much immense gratitude for each and every one, for you on the panel, all of you sharing your gifts and your time. This was divine timing that I found you. A friend shared the link last minute and I felt this pull to just come in. And I've been channeling the entire time, tapping into all this amazing energy. I've been writing down things nonstop and just so much resonance. So thank you for that. Really, my question, is more universal, as Maria was just very open and wanting to receive whatever messages came through. Mine is similar in that regard, but I want to kind of shift it towards, I'm someone who's experienced an immense amount of trauma in my life, especially in the last 5 years. And, coming out of a long-term marriage, taking on single parenthood to 3 children, life after breast cancer. My sister has breast cancer. My dad passed of cancer, just so much trauma. And I'm definitely someone who has the perspective to understand that our traumas are powerful life lessons that we're intended to learn. And I do understand and respect receiving all the signs and the symbols. I channel through my writing. I mean, all of that. But with that being said, I'm so grateful for this opportunity to tap into each one of you on the panel and really just open it up to you in what do I need to happen before I can truly be able to step into my power, be in flow. I really feel I've been hitting this resistance over and over. And, I acknowledge self-sabotage. I acknowledge, being stuck in these patterns that are really difficult to break out of. I acknowledge needing to take responsibility for whatever it is I need to heal. And I do understand that those that come into my path reflect back to me where I need to heal. So really, I'm just wanting to just connect to your individual gifts, whatever comes through regarding career, love, and purpose. any and all of it. It doesn't have, it could be whatever resonates with you. I have gratitude to receiving that message, and I will use it for the higher good of others. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you for that context and your openness in receiving. There's one simple question, and then I've got Susy and then Jessie. Are you sharing this work with others? Do you channel messages for others? Do you answer questions for others in some form?
You know, I've always used writing as a healing modality for myself. I did blog my cancer journey and hundreds of thousands of people read it, but that was not the intention. I've had messages and channeling, guides come through to really encourage me to start this type of workup, or just create a group to really offer this opportunity to like love ourselves so that we can come together as a collective and be of service to others. That's why we're here. We share our gifts with others to elevate and make the world brighter. But I'm just trying to put all those pieces together and really trust my intuition.
Great. So just briefly say, not all the pieces have to get together. Be together in the right places before you take steps. It sounds like you're already doing it for others, and it's doing it intentionally, consciously for others. Let's have the others go, and then, so Susy, and then Jessie, Galactic Ashley, Jenna, and Marianne. Go ahead, Susy.
Jessica, thank you so very much for sharing. I am a cancer survivor too, and my trauma started when I was 13 and my mother had colon cancer. 10 years later, my oldest sister had breast cancer, and then I go and I'm an overachiever and I get both kinds. So if you were here at the beginning, we talked about manifestation and how we do it. And one of the big things I used was intention. And so when I found out the diagnosis, I mean, you know how it feels like when that rug is pulled out from under you and you're like, saying all the words I don't say on the recorded things, but you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And so it was then that I determined I was going to change the end of the story. And so here I am, 7 years later, all the things. I feel with you is, as a spirit guide, is the Boudica, or Bodacia. That's where the word bodacious come from. She stood up against, she was in Britannia, and she stood up against the Roman armies, and she didn't win, but she sure gave them hell. She stands with you, and she is such a warrior. And it is in what you say, you recognize a whole lot of this. So I feel now it's okay to step forward. You have validated yourself and your gifts because you recognize them. And there's nothing wrong in recognizing your gifts. There's nothing wrong in sharing that. I think that's part of the trauma, is like, what did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this cancer? Well, for me, I had to change the end of the story. Maybe you can look at the cancer and see why it happened, but without the guilt. I feel there's a bunch of guilt hanging around there, hanging around with you. And you got to forgive yourself. It's a question of reclaiming your energy. Whether you sit there in ritual, full moon, whatever situation is going to be most resonant with you. But I talked a lot with my cancer, and I yelled at it, and I told it all the things I thought about it. And then I said, I'm taking my energy back from you. And here's yours. Reclaim your energy from the guilt that you feel over any situation. Forgive the people who, frankly, had the nerve to die from cancer and make it all the more scary. Forgive them. Reclaim that energy and allow yourself that space. That's part of your healing that's going to happen. And that is a lot of what's going to empower you to step out into the light. And I honor you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Susy. All right, we've got Jessie, the Galactic Ashley, Jenna, and Marianne.
Hi, Jessica. You've popped out a couple times. Just keep checking in with you as we've been going through tonight. So I'm really glad that you had a question and getting to connect indirectly. I just want to witness the depth of the work I can feel that you've done with yourself, and the awareness and the willingness that you have to face yourself, whether it's in your beauty or looking right at the poop in the bowl, right? Like, so I want to honor that. And here's my quick 2 cents on Cancer. We are vibrational beings. When we are out of alignment with ourselves, we create discord within us. If we put an aftermarket part on our body, a belief, a program, a fear, or if we disconnect our mind, our body, and our spirit in some way because of trauma, which is essentially trauma is an overwhelm of the system, an incapacity for the system to run the experience through each phase of the body, is the current definition of trauma in modern Western medicine. So if you're not allowing yourself to process the emotion through your pain physical body, then we store it and it becomes a physical ailment. Oftentimes, just to understand the root of cancer is to understand where is the root of your self-hatred. Some of the sweetest, most loving, most kind people get cancer, and we're like, how, if I say it's rooted in self-hatred, you're like, what? Those are the sweetest people. Outwardly. But inwardly, are they? What is our inward dialogue? How are we speaking to ourselves? How are we holding ourselves? How are we witnessing ourselves? Do we witness ourselves with as much love, compassion, honor, and respect as we do the others? And I think that's something you've really learned. I think you got that, actually. And I feel like that's why you made the decision to leave a marriage that was creating that misalignment, right? And I can also relate to that. I just left a 17-year marriage. I'm about 4 years out. And let me tell you, I fucking love my life every day. And Laureli, she's watched me. She read my eyes probably 7, 8 years ago on this very thing. So I pulled 3 cards for you, and here's what I got. Opportunity, mentorship, and harvest. Opportunity. Don't wait for something to happen. Seize the opportunities when they show up and they're exciting to you. Oh, I like that. Just like you did tonight. Perfect. Oh, I like that. I want to do that. Mentorship. Don't be afraid to step into the position of teaching. One of the things that was really hard for me, I swear, one of my earliest friends made Jessie Dujari's home room because she's like, when are you going to own that you're a teacher? And I'm like, I'm a learner. I'm just learning. That's what a teacher is. A teacher is somebody who's made a declaration of their lives to learn and then to share that learning as they go. You've already declared, I am a learner. Well, what are you learning for? To share. And that's the harvest. It's time to start harvesting the learning that you've had and serving that. When I first started doing this work, a partner, one of my first business partners, he's like, let's go and we're going to do cancer healing sessions. And I said, oh, have you healed cancer? And he said, no, but we'll just start offering it. And then, eventually we'll get people who we've healed. And I was all, so I think you should maybe run a support group and help people with cancer first before you start saying you can heal it. We need people who are energetically aware, awakened, and having gone through the experience. You could see the difference in Susy's delivery versus me being all, hey, cancer comes from self-hatred. I can be as genuine and honest and real about that, but I can't connect without that experience. And that's something you have to bring to it, a depth and a connection and awareness.
Thanks, Jessie. All right, we've got Galactic, Ashley, Jenna, and Marianne. And by the way, some of our practitioners might not be able to stay past their answer. And so practitioners, if you can't stay, please share all your contact info before you leave so that everyone can reach out to you if they come back and watch the recording later. And I just put all the practitioners' contact info in the chat again. All right, let's see. So we've got Galactic, Ashley, and then Jenna, and then Marianne.
This is actually a good to go off of what Jessie just said. So okay, so a couple of things came up. One of the things that is important to remember is the way that you personally interact with the energy field of Cancer is going to have a much different effect on it than if Jessie or I interact with it. And this goes with Susy too. So one of the important things to remember is that Cancer was created by all of us, was created by the collective. So the way that you interact with and experience it and treat it is also the way that you embody it, which means almost everyone's experience with Cancer, all of the emotions that are with it, the way that you refer to it or think about it constantly affects that energy field, which was really created by all of us. It's the same thing with COVID. COVID happened. We, as the human collective, created it. So I'm gonna mention the COVID vaccine. I'm not saying anything about it. Okay. The COVID vaccine was created. It's just because it's a really good example. It also has its own collective energy field. It was created as a way to heal. It was also created as a way to make money. So the purpose of saying that is that these energy fields are constantly shifting and changing by the way that we interact with them. So the reason why I'm saying all these things is because one of the things that came up was that it feels like there's resistance to decisions that are coming up or that you're needing to make. And it's because what's being asked of you to do is to detach from those consciousness fields, whether they be Cancer or COVID or whatever it is, to call in your sovereignty, to make sure that you are not connected to any of those fields, and to make the decision that is best for you and your family in that moment. And if you need to ask that question to remake that decision several times, you can do that. The other thing that came up was it feels really important. The reason why it also feels like you don't know what's next or what's happening, and this is kind of similar to Martha a little bit, is that you're not supposed to create something out of the old paradigm. You're supposed to embody the new energy. You're supposed to create something out of the consciousness of polarity to create something new, which means it doesn't exist, which means you're never going to be able to see it. So anybody that can't see what it is they're supposed to do, I would say thumbs up, because you're creating something and bringing something through you, through your heart field that doesn't exist. So that's almost a good sign. So getting comfortable with that is really important. You said you have 3 children. I don't know, one of them or some of them feel like they might be like conscious children, or some of them might also have quote unquote learning disabilities, which you can call them the letter people, but those are conscious children. And what we need right now more than anything, and part of the reason why the school system has just completely begun deconstructing itself, is this has been such a key opportunity for children to do like the anti-homeschooling or whatever they're calling it, the unschooling, because these conscious parents have been bringing their conscious children home, allowing them to not go back to school and to heal from the school system, and then to bring this new way of schooling home. And so I'm encouraging you to reach out. I don't know how old your kids are, but to reach out to other people that are involved in that community to find connection points with that, because it feels to me like there's something in that energy field that's for you, and that you might be part of a movement that's going to help support children and bringing in the new type of education that's being asked for. And to detach yourself from these really polarizing energy fields that are Cancer, that are COVID, that are all of these things, because what might be right for you might not be right for the people that are around you, and then you have to be okay with that and trust that what you're choosing is in your best and your path of highest health, whatever that is. Okay.
All right, Jenna and Marianne.
Hi there, Jessica. So thank you for sharing your journey. And I love that you're a writer. And I feel like my reading feels like it's speaking less directly to the Cancer and more to the mental process of things. The first being that you've done so much work trying to sort out the mental space that's causing other traumas and challenges in your life, or that are coming out of them. The cards are saying it's okay to take a break from processing for a moment, because there's something that you need to undo with limiting beliefs that you can't do until you take a rest from it all and kind of shake it out for a second. So letting yourself let go of trying in the work you've done, the incredible work you've done. And instead, the cards are saying it wants you to give yourself some glorious credit for how much you have accomplished in overcoming your mental challenges of limiting beliefs and trauma, and to come into a fresh mind around how awesome you are and letting, I want when people compliment you for you to take that in and just even tell people I need to pause right now to just feel this compliment coming through me and receive you fully. And that is a compliment to them when you do it. And it's also teaching people to do the same, because we hear insults and we feel them right in our body, but our compliments we brush off real easily energetically. And the world is asking you to like work with just taking in that gift, especially having hundreds of thousands of people witnessing your journey is powerful, and you are holding their hearts in some way by sharing yours. And so it's hard to take in that kind of accolades or attention. And so for you to take it on a more intimate level from those you're safe with is going to be healing in that way. Love that you're a writer. I love working with writers. It's one of my specialty fields because I'm a writer, and I love that you have right behind you. I'm like, yes. And part of that is the hermit work. The hermit work is, you know, the tarot comes from the hermit in a sense. It's the golden dawn, it's the alchemist. And this is that card of knowing that when you're in your pure alone self and doing true quality time with yourself, that you are in a state of giving and receiving in a very healthy channeling way. And I think that's a healing space for you. While the processing is something that can be put aside, let it be about the joy of the writing and the give and take that's happening, where you know you're in service when you're doing it, but you're also doing it for you and letting that balance of selfish happen there. Loving that. Finally, you have the 10 of Pentacles. I feel like that's a good sign of health getting better. And that's a good sign of also reaping what you sowed, welcoming in the benefits monetarily as well as physically of all that you have learned. So it's a time for integration from the trauma you've been through recently, from the challenges of Cancer. And with it is, interestingly, the Lovers card reversed, which I actually am taking as two meanings in a sense. One is that you don't need to look externally for your wholeness of self. It's within. Sometimes we need the external to fulfill us, but if you receive the love and compliments of others, then you can sense in you your own wholeness, kind of in your own range, in order to allow in the riches. And also, Lover's card reversed also to me kind of is about letting go sometimes of unhealthy relationships, as well as letting things be imbalanced, letting things be unfair in the world, and letting things just yeah, I feel like there's like a whole other reading in this one card, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up. But also, you are the Queen of Cups, and you're a Queen of Cups who is a warrior, and that is an intense mix. So gifting yourself that you are a lover and a warrior, and honoring where you've been and what you've accomplished from a heart-centered place. Thank you so much for sharing. And also, I just, oh, good. Actually, right underneath there was the sorrow card reversed. You're getting out of the grief phase because you got the completion of the world card, the enlightenment before you. I really feel like you've done a great job, and now is the time to integrate and enjoy rather than process. You're doing wonderfully. This has been a beautiful experience tonight, everyone, and I have to go, but I want to thank everyone like Jessica who is willing to share their heart with us. And it's a vulnerable thing to be so present with so many people in your life experience. My name is Jenna Lynne Roberts with Present Path. I'm offering an Art of Tarot reading class where you can tap into this amazing art form that we all have access to. And I also offer intuition coaching and writing tarot readings in particular, like if you're, to guide your book or break you through resistance. So thank you for being here. And I hope some of you will come to my tarot class. It's so much fun. I love teaching. I'm a teacher by trade. So I look forward to sharing it with you. Have a lovely evening. And I hope the rest of the night goes great.
And Jenna, did you say you did presentpathtarot.com? Just want to make sure all of that's on there so people can find you.
Yeah, come to presentpathtarot.com and look at Learn Tarot or classes to learn about the class, and then you can sign up from there as well. And I'm also on YouTube and Instagram. My YouTube's every week. This week is one about how to intuitively read the cards without book meanings, just for fun. So go check that out. And yeah, thanks for joining, and it was a pleasure.
Thanks, Jenna. All right, let's see. So we've got next Marianne to answer your question, Jessica. Go ahead, Marianne.
Hi, Jessica. Thanks so much for sharing your journey. My heart really goes out to you. I was feeling my body just like vibrate a little bit throughout hearing everyone talk and share as well. The first thing that came to me was like, you are loved. That was like the big thing. You are definitely loved. I hope you feel it. And I hope that, you know, you can tell yourself that as well. And then something about releasing. I don't know if there's still yet to be something to be released, but I almost see you like actively like yelling and screaming, just letting it all just lift off. And that's having like a full body experience, kind of shaking up the vibrations and creating that shift like some of us have talked about. So you can kind of think about that and see like what that would truly mean to you. And then using your experience with everything that you have experienced, sharing your story, because there's so many people out there that can resonate with what you've experienced, what you've gone through, and they're searching for that support system. So you love to write, maybe it is creating group. I think maybe you mentioned you were looking into that or something like that, but seeing how you can create that support system for other people, I think will just open more doors and open more opportunities for you to be in service for others. Just your story needs to be heard. Continue to write and continue to let that evolve. And then I think it was when Jessie talked, the book, You Can Heal Your Life by Lois Hay came up to my mind. Have you read that book? So it's a great book. So yeah, that just like came up into my mind just to like associate, you know, emotions with what's going on in our bodies and stuff can shed some light as well.
Great. Maybe I shared a little bit more too. I noticed that sometimes while we've been answering, you've been leaning your chin on your hand, and part of my body psychology that's meaningful. And I'm just wondering, do you have any idea of, is there anything you're not saying? Anything that you're feeling about the way we're sharing?
I'm just kind of taking it all in and just feeling very blessed for this opportunity, just to be heard and to have this just opportunity to just have certain things validated and just keep me moving in a forward direction. You know, a lot of the things that you've said, I felt very strongly, and to get it validated from people that don't know me and don't really know my story and my journey. I mean, I kind of gave you just like a tiny little inkling of what was going. It runs deep. And I do agree that, I mean, I think all of us have experienced some level of trauma, and to be able to channel that and transmute that into being able to make someone else feel validated or heard or supported. That's why we go through the trauma. That's just how I cope. That's my interpretation. No, I'm just curious. You're just reading my body language. Are you feeling like I'm holding back from something, or?
Well, it's so something you just said there might explain it for me in the way that I often interpret it and what it means. I think we're telling you things that you already know. So getting the confirmation is great, and you already know it. And so I just want you to continue to hear like that. You know so much, and really the opportunity here is for you to listen to you. Yeah. I totally can see that you're a teacher. I want to mention or ask maybe one other thing too. Did you have a parent that was really hard on you, that had super high expectations?
I don't know about the high expectations, but there was a lot of trauma in my childhood as well. Yes.
Right, and that was related to the way your ex-husband treated you too, right?
He was an alcoholic, and I was married for 18 years. So there's been a lot of trauma. There's been a lot. And this is my dad who passed away, and that's my sister who's wearing her wig. She's battling advanced breast cancer right now. I've got his ashes actually right here. So he's like sitting right here next to me. But yeah, I had a very difficult relationship with him, but I took care of him when he was dying. So
I just feel like you've spent a lot of your life just holding up and supporting so many other people. And it's just so important that you let yourself rest and be supported, and that you ask for support, right? Allow that in. And and I experience that when I share my work with other people, when I allow myself to answer questions of other people, it doesn't drain me. It's not that it's work for me. I feel energized in the process. So when you're doing the thing that's truly your gift, right? So you're fed to do that. And just the things that you've written in the chat tonight, they've been beautiful and elegant. I'm so not surprised that you're a writer. And just the way that it feels like it's an artistic way that you're integrating the things that come through you and how you're presenting things for people to hear. I want to share that with you too. There's just an artwork and an artistry and a beauty to what you've shared. All right, Jessie's got something too, and then Susy needs to jump in and share.
Yeah, I've got to leave. I want to thank you all so much for sharing this energy. I see that Laureli is a catalyst for healing for us, and then we all jump in and go, sure, let's all heal together. But my name is Susy Parker Goins. I'm with Blue Lightning Healing. I'm well, you've seen what I can do here. I have a YouTube channel. I've got a podcast called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. I'm also doing a Night of Divine Wisdom with Galactic Ashley and Shaman Wyatt Larson on the 10th, right? So that's this weekend, and we'll be talking about animal totems. Again, thank you all so much for sharing your beautiful love and your energy, and I hold you all in my heart, and I will see you next time. Blessings.
And you're at bluelightninghealing.com is where people can find you online, or Susy at bluelightninghealing.com.
Yeah, that too. Thank you, Laureli.
You're welcome, Susy. For all the people that watch this video later, we want them to get in touch with all of us.
Yes. Thank you. I love y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye, Susy. Thanks for being here. All right. It looks like Jessie's got something else to share, and then we've got one more question we're going to jump in
I'm going to be really, really quick. This isn't just for you, Jessica. This is for anyone else who's listening and who has children. I really want to echo what Galactic Ashley said. Right now, there's a reason that we have so many children being birthed in who are in special needs categories. They're here to teach us service to others. They're here to force us to have to serve them, create a space for them where all they are is embodying who and what they are in their authenticity. And that is such a high vibrational frequency. My sister is autistic, extremely autistic. So developmentally, she presents as about a 4-year-old, but she'll kick your ass at any sport. She's amazing. And she changes people when she enters the room. She changes everyone in the room, and it's immediate and apparent. So I feel it's really important for all of us to recognize that we are holding space for this next generation. And part of, I think, what you are going to be doing is writing to that. You have learned how and what it is to parent as well. I have a 17-year-old son who also recovering. He's not going back to school, and I can't believe I have that happening right now, but he has to recover from the education system. And even just today on our drive home, I got frustrated and irritated, and in a short-tempered way said, I can't believe you're being a quitter. And he was like, did you just call me a quitter? And he actually said, fuck you. How dare you say that to me? The only thing I quit is something that doesn't matter. I didn't quit anything that matters. I started picking up music. I started coding. I started taking pictures. I'm being myself. And my son schooled me, and I had to apologize. And so I just wanted to speak to that because I think it's really, really important right now. Thanks for bringing it up, Ashley.
All right. Yeah. So thanks so much, Jessica, for listening to the message that you got tonight to come, and for sharing who you are and letting us share with you.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And the fact that you picked up on that is incredible, because with virtual learning, I just want to say really quickly, my one particular daughter, who has always been labeled as having some special challenges, she thrived virtually, and she didn't want to go back into the public school system. She wants to stay home. So the fact that you picked up on that, well, that was just, I got goosebumps head to toe. That's all I have to say. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Support each other. All right. So thanks so much, Jessica. All right. We've got one more question. And you all are fine to stay for another like 10, 15 while we answer? Okay, great. So it is from Michelle. So let's go find you, Michelle. Oh, here you are. All right, Michelle. Oh, it's Michelle. All right. We can't hear you yet.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks,
I knew that
everybody.
name come through Facebook, but I didn't think it was, or go through PayPal, but I didn't think it was really you. It's you. All right.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here tonight. I just came back from a trip and got home like 30 minutes before this started. So, yay. My question is about dreams, and I've been having this kind of repetitive dream that is kind of the same energy every time, but a different person. And it was happening like once a month. And then this week I've had it happen 3 times while I was traveling through several states and getting a lot of energy shifts going on. So it feels really exciting and intimate and blissful and like supported, but it's a different person every time. And I wonder if anybody has any insight into that.
Great. Go ahead, Galactic Ashley, and then Jessie.
I thought I was going to go after Jessie. So I'm not as sure what the details of your dream are necessarily, but my favorite thing, it's funny, I was told never to mention union theory in grad school because it was by a male. And my thesis chair was like, no, you're not, like, read other things. And so I was like, okay. But what I will say is one of my favorite things about union theory is that we are everything in our dreams. So what came through is that this person that you are making whatever is happening in your dreams, like those to me feel like aspects of you or messengers that are coming to you, and that these parts that you are connecting with are parts of you that are coming back, some of which feel like they need to be healed, and some which are other aspects. And for some reason they feel like masculine aspects. I don't know if you just said that or not, but so allow these dreams to, like, the energies of them to integrate, because it does feel like there are ideas that are involved with them of something that you might want to co-create or manifest. But look inside before you start looking outside for something to come to you to help. And it doesn't mean that we aren't meant to get help, right? Because part of manifesting and co-creating, what abundance really is about drawing the resources. So to be a sorcerer means to understand that we are sourcing from our own source light, and this makes us sorcerers. So starting with that first, and before you start, because it feels like there's part of you that's like looking for these people, but like in the whatever waking reality that we're living in. So I'm getting like not to do that, just sit with the dreams, allow them to integrate, and to identify the parts as part of you that are carrying messages and are messengers, I guess. Yeah.
All right, Jessie, go ahead.
So, well, I wanted to say a couple of things about this, and I'm glad you had to go first, Ashley. I kind of felt like you were going to. I saw us both kind of tune into it. So first of all, when we are dreaming about something like that, and it's coming to us and we're holding this like state of it, It's to put us in a very open way into the vibration that that state is creating for you. So that idea, that feeling of, oh my God, I'm so in love. And right now, the only way you can do it is with an external source. Now, I personally, this is resonating for me. And this was my personal journey. Like, I've discovered that I have a type, and it's not like a type like that looks like a type. It's not the type that of like they're this, you know, this kind of dude or this kind of height or even this kind of lady. Nope, it's a vibration. And I call them the 106s. 106 point Scott, 106 point blah, 106 point blah, right? Like 106 point ma, blah, blah, right? Like all these different, and they're versions. What they were was versions of me, versions of me. And every time I'd run into them, I'm like, oh my God, this is just like blah, blah, blah. No, it was me. It was always me. And I kept externalizing that feeling of love until they went away. And then I'm like, oh, see, it was me all along. So another thing that I want to say on that, this idea of this externalized person, is the soul is massive. The soul is massive. And the soul is projecting down onto the planet like a song. And these bodies are just vibrating with it. Everyone's your soulmate. Everyone's singing the song. They're right there with you. So recognizing that the souls that are coming are reflecting to show you yourself. And it is ultimately, as Ashley said, so you can spark that light of love within you. That total surrender of love and acceptance. And earlier, Jenna had said somebody got the upside down lovers card. What I view that as is I'm now internalizing love. I'm not externalizing it anymore. I'm not looking for my other polarity on the outside. And what happens when we do that is somebody shows up who's also internalizing their source light and witnessing in the external validations of this self-love and awareness. And that's where you're stepping into. And so this is this challenge to bring it in here. So now, like, I've had the most massive transition, and I think it's hilarious. I also arrived here a half hour before the event, and I also came from the desert.
Wow.
I thought it was hilarious that we were both journeying that way at the same time. So, you know, let's let the 106s settle right within, because 106 equals 7, which is heaven.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessie. Go ahead, Marianne.
Hi, Michelle. I got just like 3 things that came to me was like a time for you to be releasing, processing, and unraveling. Like we're in this like big time of like things unraveling for us and us to like shed off things. And it's, you know, coincides with both what Galactic, Ashley, and Jessie have touched on as well. So I think there's like a reason why, you know, you're having these dreams. So get more curious about it and sit with your soul space and see what else you can like discover from them. And it's your soul, your subconscious, just really trying to talk with you and getting you in sync with something. So
thank you.
Oh, I have not seen you now for 13 months or something like that. Right? I mean, I haven't seen you this whole time. And I just have an image. So I just, like, I have an image and I can't see it very clearly. But I get more of the shape and the energy of it. And this isn't particularly what I do, so I'm just sharing what's here for me. It feels calm and grounding, and I have the sense that it's new gifts coming in, that this energy is bringing some new gifts.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and it's like it feels like it still has to do with plants. It's somehow that is connected with plants, like so much of what you do, right? And it's And it feels like there's something about the energy that like lands a bit more in the earth. I just keep getting calm. There's something that's just very calm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering how, like, whatever's coming in and what you do, and just what is the dance of all this, of how this unfolds together. You know, of what's. Yeah.
You're asking me?
I'm wondering, right? I'm just wondering, like, what this is going to be and what's going to happen.
Well, I want to share, I have felt more calm while feeling ecstatic at the same time this week than I ever have in my life. And it's amazing. So very calm, but very excited.
Great, sweet. Anyone else? Anything else from? And so the other people that are here might not know who you are or what you do. Do you want to share anything about what you do and see if that just lights anything else up for people?
I work with essential oils, and I just recently went on a journey to Sedona for the first time. And I went there several times while I was in Arizona to finish some Egyptian oils that I was creating. And I've been messing with essential oils for about 20 years. And over the last 10 years, doing a lot more spiritual connection and helping people with connecting to their, I would say, their other parts they've forgotten about and their gifts through the scent effect on the brain, and just like remembering themselves through aromatherapy. And that's turned into my full-time job, and it's amazing.
She channeled an octopus oil for me, and I freaking love it. And I use it for people all the time in sessions when they need to reintegrate all the multiple minds within us and to be able to put a collective mind together with it. So really quite a gift, Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you. And it sounds like I need to be using octopus right now after what all of you told me. Oh, that is amazing. I'm so excited about the realization of what all these dreams have been meaning.
Yeah, and I just didn't know if hearing that, if there's anything else that showed up for Mary or Galactic Ashley, that Marianne or Galactic Ashley, that might not have known.
No, other than I think that's super awesome. But something before you shared that I guess I just maybe wanted to share, it came through, I was working with my own beings, and we frequently discuss the power of neutrality and sort of build off of that, and how that's really one of our most powerful states. And I've gotten to actually feel that, and so I'm like, oh, I want that, like, all the time. I mean, they like gave it to me for like a minute or however long to feel, but they just recently brought in the power of peace, which for me, you know, I think of peace as like, ugh. Like, yes, I mean, peace is necessary. We want it, loving, da da da. But it feels sort of like not like an excited vibration to me, but it's like too calm. And I want to like feel, you know, like that. That's like a normal state for me. And so I don't exactly know why I'm talking about all of this, but I am. But to basically to remember like this power of peace, because it doesn't actually, it's not that quiet thing, and it feels like maybe you've accessed that, but that's like a really powerful moment. And so if you said that you felt like so much peace or calm or something recently, to hold that, not like you're gonna lose it, right, but to sit in that and really feel the power in that, because sometimes I think we feel that peace is without action, or peace doesn't do anything, but there will be extreme clarity that can come in with that power of peace, and that's a really powerful vibration to be in. That's all.
Yeah, the power of neutrality, that's one of the things that stuck in my head from the whole night when you were talking about that. So I do understand that it's like being in the presence of plants and listening to them. That's part of that feeling of neutrality for me. It's just not getting in the way of the message by expecting something.
Great. Well, Thank you so much for joining us. It's a great surprise that it was you. Like, looks like, sounds like, it is, it's you. Sweet.
Thank you. I got invited about 3 hours before it started and went, oh my gosh, I'm going to get home in time from my month-long journey.
Oh.
Fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being with us tonight. I put all of the practitioners' information in the chat again, along with some of our upcoming events. And there's also the link if you're willing to share your feedback with us. Yeah, so share some feedback. If you want to put your email address on it, we'll put you in a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. And you'll get connected with the rest of us on the panel about what we have going on. So upcoming events, we have next Friday, April 9, we have a panel on anything and everything. So it'll be just really open-ended, all kinds of questions. We will always take a question on anything, and it will be particularly open-ended, or we'll find out the universe has a theme in mind for us. And then on Sunday, April 11, we have a panel on career paths, jobs, education, and purpose. And practitioners, I think we've got more spots open if more of you want to be on that one. That's a specific request that we have a little bit less of a focus on purpose itself and really on the practical application and practical steps. And if people are going to take steps, how do they choose which step to take? And then on the 17th, we have one of our fairs. We have about 18 practitioners that will be on the fair. We'll have a short Q&A panel, and then we'll have lots of free talks. Practitioners are available to do sessions, and they'll also be answering questions about their work, and you can have access to specials just like you do tonight. In the chat, we have the specials from everyone. We have then on the 23rd, a panel on disentangling from toxic relationships. On the 29th, a panel on Beltane bonfires, and we've got more. And I just created a social group for us just on Facebook tonight, so lots and lots of things to do with us here at MeWe. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so Jessie's interested. Cool. More of us on that panel. So thank you everyone so much for being here and for holding space for all of us as we explore and expand and ground and open for, make all of us to true up to be who we are. And practitioners, the rest of us, go ahead and share your contact info so it's in the recording. Whoever, the four of us, whoever wants to go first, it's great.
I'll jump in. I'm Jessie Starr, www.healingpathwalkers.com. My Life Mastery Program, a year-long training program to support you in recovering from the trauma of the human condition and empower you, is starting April 8th, next week, this week, Thursday. And let's see, I am offering 50% off readings if you schedule them or email me tonight, Jessie@healingpathwalkers.com. And that's everything. Good night, everybody. Thank you for showing up. It was an honor. I loved everything you practitioners were saying. Mary, I don't think I've been with you before on something like this. It was really cool to get to hear you more and love the vibe. Thank you, Laureli. You, as always, just honor us all. Thank you. Love you guys. Mwah.
Great. Thanks, Jessie. All right. And so go ahead, I guess, Marianne and then Galactic Ashley. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Ann. I'm an intuitive energy healer. I'm super grateful to be in this space with everyone. And I focus on helping and supporting people release trapped emotions or energies within them. And, emotions tie into our whole energy field and vibrational footprint too. And I use modalities of breath work, guided meditations, Reiki. They all tie in with each other in my sessions when I'm working with clients. You can reach out to me through my website, www.theignitedsoul.com. I'm having a few workshops coming up all around breathing in terms of using it in guided meditation, starting your own breath practice. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can always email me too. You can find my email through my website. I am offering 35% off on all my services. You can use the code MeWe35 and I hope to see you guys soon. And it was so awesome to be on this panel with all these wonderful practitioners. I feel really grateful. Thank you.
Thanks, Marianne. Go ahead, Galactic Ashley.
Sure. Hi, I'm Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. I use light language every single day, and I'm really excited that I have a light language activation and healing program, which is a 10-week program, which is one of my Galactic guided intensives. It starts on Monday, April 5th. There are 2 different groups. Each group only has 12 people in it, so they're really powerful and intimate groups. They are designed for both metaphysical practitioners and those who are passionate about collaborating with the universe. So we will grow courage and expand love, and I'm just really excited to start that next week. Also, I will be doing 2 events next week. One of them is called, it's on Saturday, April 10th, a night of divine wisdom with animal totems, and that will be with Susy Goins from Blue Lightning Healing that was here tonight, and also with Wyatt Larson from the Wildwood Hollow. And then the Crystal Skull Council, which is another thing that I do. They're actually wanting to do a psychic sort of development series, and so we're doing the first one on Sunday, and we're going to be focusing on expanding a Claire audience and then offering a development circle because they talk. So they're going to help us with our Claire audience next week. So with that, I will say thanks for getting your Galactic groove on with us. And I am at, I don't know if I said this, galacticashley.com. I'm on Instagram at Galactic Ashley and on Facebook at Get Your Galactic Groove On. So thank you.
Thanks, Galactic Ashley. I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I love to do matchmaking, help you find your soul purpose and take steps to implement and be on your soul path. You can find out more about me at laurelishimayo.com. That's LaurelisShimayo. And you can find links to everything there, including signing up for a complimentary session. If you're at the panel or you're watching this and you, well, it's going to be a while before you watch it. You got to come to another event. But if you're here tonight, you can sign up for a session with me sometime over the next week. Sign up. It's okay if you do it later in the month for 40% off my regular rates. And you can learn about all of the different events we have going on at MeWe at MeWeFairs.com. That's MEWEFAIRS.com. Thanks so much, everyone, for being with us. Thanks, practitioners in particular, for staying late. Thanks, everyone, for asking questions, right? And we're all holding the space and the energy while we all answer and we grow and we learn. Well, thanks, everyone, so much. I will turn off the video.